Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
the new and improved stream, the ever-changing overlay. Although I think this one is an actual overlay, so the idea is for this one to stick. Yeah, welcome to Out of the Light, where we play a lot of D&D and have a lot of fun, y'all. That's just what we do. Um, we're gonna do a recap. I'm double checking everything to make sure we're live. We're good. That our most loyal fans know that we are live. Although, did you guys know that if you follow someone on Twitch, you'll get notifications whenever they go live so you don't miss anything?
Yeah, they're super annoying sometimes.
It's a great
I
tool.
follow a lot of people.
It's a wonderful tool. Well, you know, we only stream right now twice a week, so you would definitely want to get those particular alerts.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Could
One
can't
thousand percent. 1000%.
You
uh
got nothing better to do. Don't lie.
Do we have any updates? I don't think so. Right? No biggies anyway.
I've made this is my fourth or fifth overlay that I've made for the stream, and probably gonna be another new one on Thursday for the other group. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, slightly uneven groups. We have a 4, but then we have a 5, so we'll see how
Maybe a
that.
special event next month at some point.
Mm, do we have a date, don't we? Don't we have a necessary date?
Yep, next full moon, July
Yeah.
5th.
That's that's it.
Everyone put on your black clothing, wear black eyeliner,
Maybe
metal
receiving a
chains, and
mysterious invitation at some point.
very excited.
So
I don't even
we'll see.
really know what it is. I know I don't have to run it, which is awesome. I'm into
We'll see
that.
Matt's ability to play the game as a PC.
It's been a while.
Free for everyone.
It hasn't been that long actually. Um. All right, so I think we just get right into it.
Yep.
There's our intro. I mean, I know that's what the people come for, but as a cursory thing, they also get some Dungeons and Dragons while they're here. Um, we're up. Hello, chat. Good to virtually see you all. I hope everyone enjoyed the sunshine we're having over this way in the New England area today. It was great. And I was told uh, someone is going to recap. Someone has bravely volunteered to distill. I don't like doing the recaps, guys, because then I just tell you what I think is important. And I much prefer when other people recap because then you might miss some of the things that I think are important as the person crafting the story. And then I
So there
laugh at
I
you.
was, escaping battle with a dying catman in my hands. Then I went and rendezvoused with my small companion, who said, "Shave his chest." So I did. So then I shaved the cat, and this gnome stabbed him in the chest with a device that healed him. Then we returned to Blanchett. We met up with an NPC named Maya that we had known before. Uh, we ate, we were merry, we had a grand old time, and that's about the size of it. Anything else? Anything else that you guys want to mention?
I think that about covered it, sir. Good job. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're actually, I
Don't
think,
forget Acid Face.
acid
Oh
face.
yes, we have some sort of two-faced guy now.
Oh, you know what? I actually forgot. When I was doing my notes, I forgot acid faced, y'all.
Let's name all the NPCs.
His name was Harvey.
Murray.
Harvey,
Maurice
not
arrived.
Murray.
Maurice arrived.
Murray's alive.
Murray.
Did you get just acid face? You got one other too, right? One other.
I think unnamed maybe.
Yeah, another
What
unnamed.
happened to what happened to unnamed? What happened to unnamed? What's their defining feature?
He doesn't. They don't have one there. Um, they're kind of like a ditto, just following you guys around until they
Oh,
take
I
on
thought
a
you meant like
form.
Clayface, but
That
that works too.
Okay, his
uh,
name will be Basil. Basil.
I might have been playing Pokemon Shield recently, and that's why my mind went to a certain place and not to cool things that big kids are supposed to know.
That one's name that one Basil then.
Basil. Yeah, that okay. They're Basil. Sure. Unnamed prisoner. Now Basil. Now they don't even their distinguishing feature was that they were unnamed. Now they don't even have that.
No, it's not.
That's awful. Awful. All right, so I think we are just gonna pick it up right at the next day after you guys did your
Party.
your big party, eat, drink, be merry, uh, lots of fun, as much as you can have uh, underground in a cave prison when you're gonna try to escape pretty soon. Uh, but you wake up again in that little um, offshoot cavern that you kind of have to squeeze to get into, where all of Blanchett's men seem to sleep. You all wake up. Why doesn't everyone roll a Constitution save for me? We'll see how well you're waking up after the night's revelries. Let's just start it off with a roll.
8.
8. Ocho.
On save, you said?
20.
Nice. Another
Okay.
8. Okay.
An 8.
Um, so I think that Mr. Euphoria is awake and up and ready to go, right? Like you're excited for what this new day will bring. Hey, you've been doing okay since you've been in this prison. And I think that Dokai and Alstis wake up uh, because you're being way too loud for what their heads can handle at the particular moment.
Shit. Drank too much.
I
Well.
was nearly killed, so I required some extra rest.
Yeah, well, I just drank too much beer, so I should be okay in a few hours. Let me,
Surprisingly not my first brush with death.
And
I'm sure it won't be my last either.
Yeah, I'd say that's likely. Well, let's see what I can brew up here this
I
morning.
think it's Cosmo's fault.
Why would it be my fault?
If it were not for you, Cosmo, we would not be here.
I'm going to have to disagree with you.
You're welcome to your opinion, of course.
Well, let's see what Blanchett wants us to do today, because I think it's about time we get out of here.
Yes, I agree. Time to get the fuck out.
All right. So as you guys exit that little cavern back into the large area where usually it's full of crates and a bunch of goods. Well, there's still several of those um, shelving units, though they are almost entirely empty now. The weapon caches, as well, as you look, are almost entirely empty. This place looks as if it has been cleared out. And it's almost amazingly sparse. And you do see most of Blanchett's men up, moving around. You see Scarface as well. Acid Face. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. His name is Acid Face. As he is taking things and hauling them back and forth. A lot of them look rather groggy, right? It's not like they're bright, spry, and chipper, but they are definitely all up at work as they're kind of looking around, seeing if anything else needs to be stored away.
Can I just look around and see if I can pick up some kind of tiny shield, some kind of buckler tap situation?
Um, as you look around, there were definitely shields and things before. However, right now there aren't any in this room. They all of the um, uh, good quality equipment that was here seems to have already been taken. I don't want to say upstairs, but up to that other
Sure.
room.
Piggybacking off of that, I would like to see if I'm a bit larger and I'm more used to using like a big spiked club. I'm not sure if people would be able to typically use those, so I feel like it could be reasonable that one of those might still be around. So I'm going to take a peek to see if anything like that is around.
Well, I think you already looked for something like that before when you were originally looking for a weapon, and we didn't, and there wasn't one.
Was I okay? I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, because I know you were all looking before, and I think that I had you roll just because it was a more advanced thing. We said, you
Okay.
could definitely drive some nails through thing, but it's not going to be quite the thing you're looking for at that point.
Let's investigate upstairs, Eugene. I think that'll be a best solution here. See what they got out.
I suppose so.
Yeah, you take your way up, and again, people kind of meandering up and down, back and forth. A lot of them tired and kind of sweating. Like, obviously, they've been working hard, dragging all this stuff up. Although at this point, they're kind of like taking it a little bit easier, catching their breath, just double checking, making sure they've picked up everything of use. As you go back to that other large audience chamber, um, you definitely see Blanchett, although he is not sitting in that throne of rubble in the center of the room of all like the stone and things that have been placed in such a way that it makes a pseudo throne. He's standing atop it, and he is uh, definitely showboating, which is kind of his thing. He's usually doing, but he is speaking directly to the crowd, and they are pushing further and further into the room. In fact, far further than they were ever allowed to before, where Blanchett's men would usually push them back out. Um, and you do notice a couple things. First is that he is allowing them in and kind of goading them in, actually, but then also goading them kind of to the other side of the room away from uh, the carriage, which is absolutely chocked full, right? It does look like some minor repairs have been done to it after the kind of craziness of the night when you took it here, it falling over and everything else. The the that metal cage on the back is still there and intact, although the back door has been entirely removed at this point, so it's open. Um, and the thing is just weighed down with all of this stuff. It still has like the two perches up top, and actually, as you look now, Musha, the half elf, is up there, just like looking at it, inspecting it, making sure it's okay. But the thing that really catches your attention is Blanchett, who is looking at the people and smiling and saying, "Well, yes, 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 we will be moving on. We know we have been your proud leaders here for quite some time, but it is definitely time. And who will take up the throne when Blanchett is gone? Who? Yes, who indeed?"
Uh, well, do you guys want to like
Murray.
that Musha guy? See what he has to say.
Yeah.
We should get to
Damn.
know these people, yes.
All right, so you, Alstus, you're going over to the carriage.
Well, I figured we'd all kind of go together to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you guys head over, and there's still some people in
That's
there.
why.
You notice that inside the carriage, it is like things are meticulously placed. So even though it's full, you can kind of like walk through this. Kind of if you were to squeeze, you could get through the center to get at different things. With the weapons, um, instead of further back, they're actually the closest thing to that doorway, like for easy grabbing, whereas other supplies are pushed further back. Um, and some so they had like too much stuff, right? So there's other crates and things off to the side, which seem to be less desirable stuff. There's a lot of fresh stuff in there, you notice as well. There's a couple other of Blanchett's men around, just kind of like double checking. One of them kind of seems to be a carpenter by trade, you would imagine, because he is doing a lot of repairs. You actually see him kind of like trying to direct other people on like different things to just reinforce along the side. Um, the two mules that are there, they both have their head in a uh, what's it called, like a crate themselves, munching on some of the discarded produce, and they are already hitched to this wagon. Sorry, I do
Well,
feel like
Eugene,
I'm
if you want to take
talking
a
a
look
lot.
around these supplies in here, maybe you find something you're looking for.
Yeah, I agree.
Hello. And Musha kind of like sticks his head over the side and looks at the lot of you. Is there something particular that you all need here?
Well, my friend here is looking for a different weapon. He's used to something a little bigger, on the two-handed side of things. Axe, great sword, club, or whatever. I don't know if you have anything like that.
Oh, let me check my. And he's going through, kind of like the loose leaf charcoal written pages that he has. We should certainly have some larger weapons in the back. They should be fairly easy to grab. They're close by the door. Again, just let me know what you take and if you replace it with anything else.
Will do. How long you been with old Blanchett? If you
Oh,
don't mind me.
I have been with Blanchett the whole time he's been in here. We were brought in together, actually.
What are you in for?
Um, Pirating.
I see.
Usually, it's actually pretty good that we were caught by Gujar. Most towns would kill you for such an offense. However, here, uh, you know, the family that owns the prison makes quite a bit off every prisoner that's put in here, so the more bodies they
If you don't
throw in
mind,
here. Uh,
if you don't mind me asking or suggesting this, you don't quite seem like the pirating type.
Whatever do you mean?
Oh, I'm well. You seem a little more like a
Well mannered.
scholar.
Huh. Well, every ship needs a navigator and someone to keep track of the stock and the things aboard and how many people died on the last raid. Uh, I am a learned man, of course. My father was quite learned himself and taught me quite a bit before he died. And my mother as well was fairly well off. I had a good upbringing. However, this is the life I chose.
Sounds like quite a tale.
uh, Not much of one, I'm afraid.
I noticed you didn't partake much last night in the revelry.
Oh, I think just with everything going on, with so much to get to, I didn't want to get distracted. I don't usually partake very much.
More of a wine man.
Um, Sometimes.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Anyway, we're just going to take what provisions we need, and we'll tell you what we took so you can record it.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Very nice. All right, Eugene, let's go look. Come on. Let's see what we got back
That
here.
sounds good to me.
Okay. Uh, you can roll an investigation check, Mr. Euphoria, and then you can also tell me exactly the kind of thing you're hoping to find.
Well, I'm hoping to find a.
Can I assist him in his role, sir? If I can point out what I think he might want to use?
Sure. Yeah, I can say Alstus kind of like can climb back there and really get into things as he's looking. You're a small, nimble fella. Sure, you can assist, give advantage.
On Tetsubo. 15.
Oh, good thing for that advantage, sir, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
See, hey, sometimes, sometimes it's good to have this.
Good to have a manservant around, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll knock 50 gold off your.
Well, gee
Okay,
whiz,
Dad.
at this rate, I'll be out of there in no time.
So the 19,950 gold.
How about instead of that, whatever the fuck it is you just found, when you put that on, I'll take that shield you got right now. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds like a fair trade to me.
All right. I don't know why I'm flipping through and I can't find stuff.
I'm not looking to get killed again, and that was a little too close for comfort last time.
Shaggy, is that you?
No, sir. My name is Alstus. I know it's hard. I know all those late nights and substance abuse issues clouded your thinking, but
So I will say you can find a lot of more common weapons, and you can kind of have your pick of them. I just don't know that they would have something very kind of outside the norm like that.
Oh, all right. Oh well.
how about you just call it a mace or whatever, or a two-handed maul, and it can look like a Tetsubo. That okay, sir?
Listen, it was a family heirloom, passed
It
down
must
for
have
generations.
been. I have learned many weapons, and a Tetsubo is not one of them.
Passed down for generations.
Well, that
That's
one's
fine.
still in the bar. You
I
never
hope
got it.
so. I hope so.
It was under the counter.
I know. I'm all is fine.
Sure.
When we get back there, we'll try to get it for you. How about that?
Is the Tetsubo one of your oddities?
It could be for the right price.
Yes. It sounds like it fits your MO.
Yes, you can definitely have a maul, 2d6 bludgeoning, two-handed, all that good stuff. All right. And then Alstus, you took his shields.
Yeah, and I'm
Apparently
leaving
I
the.
can use
I'm
those. I had no idea. So that's
I'm
good.
picking up the maul, and I'm taking the long sword I had and putting it back, putting it with the other weapons.
Sure. Okay. You do that. You let Musha know what you took, what you left. He like writes it down. Ah, well, thank you for letting me know. Yes. And then he kind of looks over and he says to the guys, "Are the repairs completed?" He kind of gets a wave and yeah, it looks good from the carpenter. And
Yikes!
says,
What I want to
"Good.
be doing.
Why don't we grab just a couple more of those crates and throw it on the back, and then we should be ready to go." Whenever it is
Excellent.
Blanchett is done with whatever it is he's doing.
If you don't mind me asking, how are we getting to the extraction point exactly?
Oh, well, it's been quite some time being able to find the route. We believe we have it now. Um, it goes through the territory of another gang, and unfortunately, a rather uh, notorious one, even for this place. Uh, it's the gang of a man they call Craven. He is said to have, as far as he knows, as far as any of us do, the only hole to the outside world, um, directly in his lair. Uh, However, well, it may not be that easy to get to Craven and through him. Uh, we're leaving with quite a large pack of people here, but trying to do the calculations of the amount of food that we'll be eating and all that, I don't imagine that all of us will be surviving that fray. But it is a necessary step to get to the outside world.
If this Craven has access to a hole to the outside, why the hell isn't he using it?
Well, the hole is over sheer cliffs, uh, over to uh, the western edge of Gujar. Craven, like most people here, does not have a way to get word to the outside to have someone go and help him escape. Luckily, with Blanchett and his crew, we were able to get word, and our ship will be there.
I see. Well, I suppose if it comes to a fight, then at least we're well armed and well supplied.
Yes,
Could we offer this Craven a ride?
I I don't know that that would be advisable. He's known to be rather insane. I don't know that a lengthy boat ride with someone like that would be pleasant at all.
Well, we don't have to actually take him now, do we?
He's also not the most trusting or accepting man. He's a bit further away from where most of the food drops tend to be. Plenty of people there, but not too much food being dropped in, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I know. I think I know what you're saying. So how long is the journey supposed to be to this hole?
We believe, well, anytime we've sent scouts out, they have taken quite a while to make their way there and back. We've lost several over time as well. However, they were having to be sneaky and move quietly. We are moving in force, so I imagine that if we are to go, it shouldn't be more than. I mean, we should get there today.
I see. Well, we better be off then. I don't want to waste any time.
That's
of course
excellent
not.
news. Excellent news.
Let's load up these crates for him, Eugene. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Sounds good to me.
Yes. No, not those. Not those. These over here. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Those are the ones. All right. And then, as you're grabbing those last couple crates and putting them onto the back of this wagon, Blanchett is over there, and he has um, this group riled up. You can tell a couple small fights have actually broken out of it too. And he says, "Well, of course, you don't need me to tell you who will take over the throne once I am gone. I will not be here, but you know how to go and get the food. But who will be the wisest? Who will be the most magnanimous in passing it out? Who indeed? Who among you do you want to be the leader? Democracy, my friends! Choose a leader. No, don't just keep doing that." As he's watching more and more people just fist fighting and beating the shit out of one another. And even though he is telling them to stop, he is beaming from ear to ear as he's watching it. You actually see Maya off to the side, just huge roll of her eyes at the kind of whole show that's happening.
I'm gonna just make a sign of Blanchett to wrap it up. Sim-
And he does. He gives you a big wink and and he kind of like looks around and says, "Well, the throne is here!" And he jumps off. And then like as he does, people like it immediately starts, and you can almost tell it's like what he was hoping would happen, right? It starts like the most vitriolic game of King of the Hill you've ever seen in your lives, where like people literally, these starved, emaciated people around there are thinking if they're the ones that actually get their feet to be on this throne, that they'll just get to like take over his position. It
Is
starts an
there a
absolute
is
free
there a
for all.
dagger around? Like, would I?
Absolutely, yeah,
All right, so I'm going
easy
to
enough.
just. I'm just gonna say this taking too long. I gotta grab a dagger. I'm just kind of gonna toss it into the fray.
Oh shit.
So to just toss it into the fray.
Yeah, as you do, um, Blanchett actually gives you a bit of a look, like, why did you do that? And someone definitely picks it up, and you start hearing screams as that happens. And Blanchett's like, oh, well, let's get going then. Yes, get the men from down the tunnel, please. Bring around the mules. Yes, 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 yes. As he goes over, and like as these mules have their faces in the crates picking at what the remnants of this discarded produce, he just like kicks it from away from them, smacking them in the nose, where they just shake their heads quickly like what the hell is going on. uh, and Yeah, at that point, I'm going to say Murray actually gets into the driver's seat. It seems that Blanchett has asked Murray to be the driver, while he sits next to Murray. And Mia actually runs down the tunnel quick and starts yelling, "We're going! Come on, guys! We're getting out of here!" Um, as people just
All right,
start.
I want to get on top of the cart. I want to position myself on top in one of the seats on up there.
Yeah, sure, easy enough. You get
I
up
want to
on.
grab onto the back. I want to grab onto the back and sort of hold onto it.
Yeah, definitely. And you really are holding. There's not too many places to. Well, you're above the ground, like with your feet and your arms there. You have a pretty good vantage point there and everything else. So, Alstus, you're up on top of the cart, actually, with Musha, who's also up there. Um, since he already was, he just kind of like takes a seat, and it's this nice little like bucket seat. You know what I mean? Like it's not the most comfortable thing, but you probably will not get thrown off of this cart as it's going.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually. What I'll do before is I'll command the rope to tie itself around one of the bars or something secure on the top, and I'll tie the other end around myself. I'm like, I said to Masha, just in case, never hurts to have a backup plan.
Oh, I believe it will be safe, but yes, I suppose caution is good. Yes. Um,
I call it a seatbelt.
a belt for your, as opposed to for your pants. Yes, I suppose that was good. As people are now like double timing it up um, out of that tunnel, back up to the top, and uh, what's his name? Murray is gonna start bringing the cart through the way. At first, the car it's not going quickly, right? But it is ahead of a lot of people, so they kind of have to like double time it to get up behind it and around. And you go through the winding tunnels up and away, um, back to uh, that large room where you originally were. Where you originally saw Blanchett's men getting the food delivery. So it's the place that actually has the hole in the ceiling, um, the many different avenues to leave, um, and he says, um, "Well, all right." And he looks up at the top and he says, "Oh, uh, Al Alstus, you're taking the seat."
Yeah. Why? Was it was there someone else?
Well, I mean, I was going to sit there. I was going to have my navigator sit next to uh, good old Murray here, but
Well, that's fine. I don't mind. Wait, you're gonna sit up here. Mush is gonna sit next to Mario. So what's the other seat gonna be up here?
Oh no, Mush was going to stay up there as well, I imagined. I have another person who uh, is my navigator to where we need to go.
All right, I'll ride the mule then. Fine.
Huh.
Jeez.
Yes, that sounds
That's okay.
wonderful.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Uh,
I don't mind.
he does start, or the men start organizing themselves. I say men. There are women there as well, but his goonies, so to speak, are organizing themselves. Some of them before the cart, some of them behind, and they're not, they're not nearly as organized as the actual guards are, but they're doing like a pseudo guard drop-off look. They do have much more men, and now kind of all in one place, all together. You see them. So at this point, you have with you uh, just to have it out there, the actual numbers and everything of who you have. You have the three of you, of course. Um, your kind of found friends of Mia, Murray, Acid Face, and
It's gonna
Basil.
buy. It's gonna buy. It's is it Maya? Is it Maya or Mia? We're saying both here.
I don't
It's
remember.
Maya.
I think it's.
Maya.
I think it's. I think.
100% it's Maya.
1000%.
All right.
I'm gonna-
Eugene.
They
I-
cannot go higher than 100% Dokai.
Murray.
I am,
Do we have any
I am not a
mathematicians in chat?
mathematician.
And
Wisha.
then Maya, Murray, Acid Face, and Basil. And then
Basil.
Blanchett, Musha, and you have 20 other people with you. So you have rather a large assortment. Total of 21, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 29.
Others.
29 in total.
That is a squad, as they say.
And he kind of takes a few minutes to get everyone as kind of as organized as they're going to be. And then one of his men who's sitting next to Murray starts pointing him in the direction that you are all meant to go. And go you do. You're not going terribly quickly. You're going walking pace. But you are on the move. So at this point, Alstus, you're... oh, hello, little cat. You're riding one of the mules.
Bill 4. Yes.
Mr. E, Mr. E. I just only said it
Mr.
because I saw it. Mr.
Mr.
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Mr. F.
Mr. F. Mr. Euphoria is hanging on to the back of the wagon. Dokai, what are you doing?
I would probably secure the perimeter.
Okay, yeah. So you're kind of going, moving around the perimeter as they're moving, and just making.
Yeah,
sure
I have feline agility, so I'd probably just,
Sure.
since I can move quickly, I would probably just make sure I'm patrolling and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to say, thank you for that. Thank you for that sub. In chat, loving it,
Brand,
loving it.
thank you.
Much appreciated, everyone. Keep them on coming. All right, so Dokai is going around. Alstus is kind of near the front. Like, there's a good amount of men in front of you, but you kind of have that high position. Not one you usually have, Mr. Gnome. And Mr. E,
It's great. It's like a full-sized horse for me.
yeah. Let's. Why don't Alstus and Dokai give me perception checks? Mr. Euphoria is kind of like checking out the back. There's definitely no one
13.
coming up that way at this particular.
21.
Nice. Wow. +5 perception, bro. That's nice stuff. Okay. So as Dokai is like kind of going around looking at people, making sure everything's good, you notice up ahead, and you're not going away. You remember you're going almost like part of the way that you went when you found this carriage, but then you veer off to the side. You end up going a different direction. So you're out of familiar territory. You've actually found yourself going descending at least a little bit further into these caverns. Not terribly much, but noticeable. Dokai, you notice Every so often, there are other people. Now, you always see other people when you're moving through these, right? Usually, um, there are people that are extremely hungry, maybe a group of 2, 3, if they're lucky, people on their own, people on the edge of starvation. Uh, you notice some people actually with weapons. And they kind of are like stepping out as if they're ready to attack. And, you guys passing by, and then they see the shitload of you that are there, and then they turn around and beat it almost immediately. They do not really want anything to do with you, um, as you are.
Do you
Uh,
do you think that they would? Do you think that they recognize us as Blanchett's crew, or are we just people coming through?
um,
Is it just the sheer numbers, or
I think you would assume that it is sheer numbers at that point, right? Blanchett, yes, he's on top of the wagons, but there's probably like 10 people in front of him, plus
sure?
there's a wagon, right? Uh, and um, and I would say you probably noticed, even at just the sight of the wagon, people kind of turn and go, because, right, usually it's very well equipped, trained, and ready guards that are on these things. Uh, so both from when you were brought into this prison, as well as when you stole this wagon, that's not something that happens too often. Usually people give these things a wide berth. You also start thinking that may have been part of the tactic that they were going for, um, in having you guys acquire this.
Are we lights on in this? I assume we have the torches lit. As
Yes,
these units here.
Blanchett's men they're all human, right? Um, they're mostly, um, you know, black and brown skinned humans. The navigator actually is the only one who is like the lighter skin from like that pseudo barbarian, raiders, Viking style kind of raiders that live on the southern coast of the continent. But most of them are, as opposed to what you guys probably actually usually think of when you think pirate, right? You usually think those coastal raiders. These are kind of, people maybe of Guchar, or other cities, settled cities up in this continent.
So we're just like a blazing torch going through these tunnels, like a big old
Yeah, yeah,
neon sign.
which probably is attracting a lot of these people, but also when they see this force of people, they are turning tail. That's what you notice at this point.
I would communicate that there are several armed men running away from us.
What did you say?
There are several armed men running away from us.
Ha ha ha! Yes, good. Let them run. Let them run.
Well, I'm sure they will communicate. We are coming. We will lose
Oh.
the element of surprise.
Listen, my friend. Until we get to the area we are heading towards, uh, our numbers, our force, uh, will keep most of the rabble away. Uh, Once we get where we're going, we won't have an element of surprise.
What if they outnumber us as well?
They might. Then we must fight harder. I'm less
Maybe,
worried about their numbers. We are extremely well equipped for people down here. For this much steel, it's almost unheard of, at least in my time. I'm more worried about their monster.
And
the
what now?
monster.
Yes, yes. Well, supposedly, uh, Craven has some sort of big, strong monster that he controls. Supposedly, it's what punched a hole right to the outside.
At what point were you going to tell us about this monster?
Oh, everyone knows about it. No, they didn't tell you. The guys didn't. No.
This thing
No.
punched through solid rock. The hell is it?
I don't
Does not
know.
sound fun to
Supposedly,
fight.
people that see it tend to die.
Then where do the stories come from?
That is a good question,
That's a
Cosmo.
great question. I've actually never met this Craven fellow myself. Well, we'll just have to march through them.
Maybe the better strategy would be to ask them to join us on the ship.
I don't know if that will work. I mean, I suppose I don't know the fellow, but from everything I've heard of him, he's not supposed to be terribly pleasant.
We can tell him we can bring a few of his trusted men, but only a few. Then we will outnumber him.
You're assuming that Craven wants to get out.
I'm assuming that we don't go in there aggressively and send that message.
Well, my friend Dokai, perhaps when we arrive towards Craven's territory, well, perhaps you could parley with him.
I would be willing to try.
Okay, yes. We will wait on the edge of the territory while you go in and parley. That sounds agreeable.
I will not parley with a madman by myself.
I'd rather not send in too many. I mean, if he's going to disembowel you and take you apart, I'd rather not lose too many men that way before we have to full
Yes,
ration.
I know what disembowel means. I would rather not be disemboweled.
I'd rather you not either. That's why I figure if we go in and this is what I would usually do, right? You go in and usually you kill everybody, and then there's no one left to kill you. It works out quite well.
What are you
Is this
signing
what
us
you-
up for here?
Yeah, is this what you guys want? Because
It seems like an unnecessary confrontation.
You're
to
asking me if I want to go into a den of cannibals with the monster that can punch through a cliff face.
Cannibals? Who told you they were
No.
cannibals?
I assumed. I used my I inferred.
That's a strange thing to assume. That you actually see Musha kind of like look around and be like, just like look off the other way.
Yeah, well, I'm not interested in putting myself in a situation where I'm likely to die. So, how about we do this? How about we go in all together, like, and if you want to parlay, we can parlay with everyone behind us.
Huh. Sure. So with the show of force, then.
It helps in a negotiation.
that way he might not want to fight us.
I prefer to call it a show of intimidation. Do you understand?
Either way, we should shut the fuck up and get going. Come on, we gotta get there before.
Oh, we're going.
never-
Yeah.
oh, we
the
never-
carts
we
have
never
been
stopped.
moving this whole time.
I mean, why would we stop moving to come have a conversation? That doesn't make much sense to me.
Well, we can continue on then. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out, everyone. Yes, you too. I see you there. Your eyes lazing. Musha! And he kind of like smacks him on the side, and Musha kind of jumps. You keep an eye out as well. We have the high ground here. And he kind of like tips his hat up so that he can see. All right. Anything else while you guys are going that you would like to do? Conversations you would like to have? Moments you'd like to speak to people who, based on roles, might be dead soon? I don't know. I'm just putting stuff out there, It's a game of chance, y'all.
I'd rather not gamble with my life.
Is Did Maya end up coming on the cart with us, or is she
Yeah,
somewhere?
she's
else?
here.
She's with you. Yeah, she's kind of mixed in with the crowd that's walking. She's actually staying behind the cart.
What weapon did she take?
Um, she didn't. She just still has her dagger currently.
All right.
She had that before. Remember, she snuck that in.
Yes.
She doesn't have any other visible weapon you would see. You actually can't see the dagger on her. She keeps it very well hidden. Okay. Uh, as you are all moving ahead, uh, you go through a bit of a rough area at first. So it actually dips down quite a bit. And you're like, well, it's practically going to be water level pretty soon. Like, how far down are we going to go? And then it's almost like a valley where it kind of goes up then very steeply. And a lot of the men actually have to end up getting up out and behind and helping to push the wagon up this steep hill with the mules in order to get them going. Alstus has to, goad the mules a little bit extra to keep them pulling this. And you go up for a while, and you go up for far longer than you were going down, and you believe you must be rather high up into the cliffs of Gujar at this point. Before it finally levels out. And Blanchett kind of like leans over the front and talks to his navigator who's sitting on the front of this wagon next to Murray. And then he looks around and takes off his hat, with the cart stopped, and puts it on his chest and says, "My crew, my friends, we have arrived at our destination. I am told this is the outskirts of the madman named Craven. Now, this is not somewhere we thought weeks ago that we would need to come. However, if we are to be the first to escape this God-forsaken hole away from the sun, we must make our way through. Now I know you all have heard tale of this awful Craven. We have all heard that he's 7 feet tall, eats human flesh right from the bone, and controls a huge monster capable of breaking through solid stone. Well, if this is the obstacle we must overcome in order to leave, I say, charge on! As you guys look around, this speech is not doing a great job of inspiring. His people look not too pleased at all the mentions and all the other things that he's saying.
Does this seem like? Should I buy this? Does this seem like a show to me? Like this whole thing about the story about Craven?
Sure, roll an insight check.
7.
I think it's really hard to know, right? So
I just don't believe him.
It's the weird thing, because you're just here. Obviously, the people around you, the ones who have been here a while, have heard these like tales before. I mean, maybe it sounds kind of like a big fish tale, right? But Blanchett admitted to you himself that he hasn't actually ever met Craven or seen him before.
It's all a bunch of nonsense.
Well, when we come upon this foe of ours, this giant in the small tunnels, One of our new friends has agreed to parley with him. And he gestures over to Dokai. Perhaps this fine man here will be able to soothe the beast before he is gnawed upon. Well, we will see. We will see what happens when we reach the lair of Craven. Slowly and surely, we march on! And Blanchett seems uh, entirely unconcerned by the fact that there are no applause, no cheers, nothing like that after this speech. And after that, very slowly, as opposed to the walking pace, it's more of like a creeping pace at this point as the cart moves on and continues forward. Everyone keeping their eyes out, because at first, this particular cave, there's no offshoot. It's a single way forward, but then slowly the kind of outcropping tunnels start coming. And there's kind of like some people that are running forward and looking in and like signaling that it's okay before they go. This whole rolling caravan moving ever so slowly forward. What are the lot of you doing at this point? Just to get a clear idea.
I'm gonna go with Dokai when the time comes. If I hear this guy give another speech, I'm just gonna start swallowing rocks.
Sure.
I'm still I'm probably more positioned in the front now. Expecting, anything that comes our way is going to be hostile. So
Yeah, I think you're at the position now where like the people that are going a little bit ahead, right, to check the different avenues before you arrive there, you're the one that they're turning around and like signaling to. You know what I mean? And then you turn around then and signal back as well. You're kind of like that frontmost position that is not the outliers,
I'm giving Dokai the stink eye right now. Not very happy.
You're giving Dokai the stink eye?
Yeah.
Dokai the stink eye.
do
sure.
I do I notice?
Make a perception check. You can make a perception check on that. And this is really.
Oh,
yeah, I think
that's a natural 2.
Yeah, your attention is just, and that's not like your perception over, like that was literally just to see if you were getting the stink eye. You are entirely unaware about it. Your attention is so focused forward and ahead of you that, the fact that you have a gnome behind you peering into the back of your head is of no importance.
Throwing shade.
Yeah, you when you're underground, you don't notice the shade. That's it. All right. After a while of this kind of moving forward, the kind of scouting people out ahead keep kind of going and looking. All clear, all clear. And then you come around a bend, and you see them as they kind of go around to look first, and then they stop. And you all keep kind of walking. The wagon kind of keeps rolling more and more, and they're just Dokai. They're there in front of you, seemingly frozen. They just aren't moving or saying anything.
I would try to get closer to them.
Sure.
And see what they're seeing.
Give me another perception check then.
Sure. That was not that much better.
Well,
12.
12 is much better than a 7. So you kind of go and you creep and you look. And they kind of blink as you walk, like they're blinked back to reason. And in front of you, the rest of the tunnel around this corner is impassable because it's full of people. As you look, you actually realize it's probably less people than you have, right? And they don't have a big cart, they don't have anything. But they are also uh, well equipped. They have armor, though often mismatched and patchwork pieces. Uh, and they are standing there just seemingly waiting for you. Just stopped.
How far away would you say they are?
They are probably 60 feet away back on this tunnel that seems to go straight for quite a while once you take that turn.
So I'd walk about 20 or 30 feet forward.
Okay.
I would like to speak to your leader, Craven.
At this point, guys, once they get to the edge, and those people, the scouts up ahead, were kind of like woken up by Dokai. They turn around, and the carriage, everything has kind of stopped at this point. The only person who has, at this point, gone around the corner is Dokai, and then there's the two scouts that are kind of right at the corner. Everyone else is back a bit. While Dokai is going and saying that, what are you guys doing, Alstus and Euphoria?
I'm going along with Dokai.
Okay.
I mean, cat has a death wish. Bring him back once and I'm gonna die next day. I'm gonna go too.
Did you say ding dang?
And
Yeah.
Flabbit.
So Euphoria comes
I'd
around.
say if Alstus is coming too, I turn to him and say, Alstus, you know escape plan Gamma.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Got it. No problem.
All right. Yeah, so Dokai stands there after saying that. No immediate move from up ahead. And then you feel the presence of Mr. Euphoria come up to one side, and Alstus, though seeming a bit grumbly, coming up to your other side. After a while, there seems to be a figure pushing their way through the other group, and then the front line kind of parts, and right out in front, stopping just in front of her men, is a woman. Rather petite, probably just over 5 feet tall, dark skin, and entirely bald, just shaven head.
Human?
Human, yes. By all appearances. And she has the biggest, toothiest smile as she's looking out at you.
Well met.
Now, can I ask what the lot of you are doing here?
We're just passing through.
No. Nobody passes through here.
And why not?
You see, these tunnels are mine, and I don't let anyone pass through them.
You are Craven?
Yes, that's what they call me.
I'm just gonna start guzzling down from my water skin. The remains of that.
The beer from the beer
Oh,
you create.
just Hair the dog.
Yeah. All right.
Got
Yeah.
some of that. I feel like I'm gonna need it.
I wipe the froth off my lips. I'm like,
Here,
shit, that's good.
got some of that.
Sure. A little
Thanks.
bit left.
There will be a ship on the other side of this tunnel.
Oh, I've been on ships before. I rather dislike being on ships. I've been on ships for a very long time. I much prefer to have my feet planted on solid ground.
I hate water. But I know I need to get out of here. Isn't that what you want?
You're here with the man with the hat. Yes? I don't recall what his name was.
Blanchett.
I suppose. That's who you arrived with, yes?
That's who I arrived here with, but not to these tunnels.
I am nobody's puppet.
Nobody was saying that.
I am not here for this Blanchett's use.
At this, I would kind of like try to slyly turn around
Sure.
and do some sort of like we're fucked kind of like
While he's doing that,
So,
I'm gonna hand him my water.
uh,
I'm gonna say, you want a drink? It's all this talking is thirst to work.
so you don't get along with Blanchett,
yes,
correct?
please.
Correct. Craven it was, right? Hi, how you doing? I'm Dr. Euphoria, and I have the cure for your issues. You don't like Blanchett, correct? Yeah, not a guy that you really enjoy his company. You wish he was gone.
Are you offering to kill him?
Not in the traditional sense, no. What I am saying is that if you allow us passage through said tunnels, the likelihood of you seeing him is significantly lower than otherwise. We are leaving. You will never see him again, and you will have the ability to do whatever it is that you would want to do over there and never see him or his weird hat ever again.
I would try to very quietly whisper to
Sure.
Cosmo. We don't know how to man the ship. We need a crew.
We need our group to go through there.
What the fuck are you doing?
She reaches in her sleeve and grabs a handful and pulls out a string. And you can see it's like a thin, like wire string that she has, just kind of holding it between her two hands. And as she does, she kind of like lengthens it a little bit, like she's pulling more of it out of her sleeve. And she says, "I will not be the puppet for Blanchett."
Well, do you want a beer at least before? I mean, before we before we do this, do you want to take a sip? I mean, I got a little bit left.
I'm just a tired old man. I didn't
I
want to
mean,
have.
hell, just a bartender lost in the dark down here.
I just want to go home, go back to my family.
Uh,
Why don't you unwind that string and just sit down for a minute and just take a drink?
one of the men comes up from behind, also pushes his way through the front line, taps Craven on the shoulder, and she turns to him, and they whisper for a second, and she turns back to you, and she says, "I am the puppet master.
Yeah, I figured that was what was going to be said next.
And then there is a crash. um, the sound of a big hit, and then large, heavy things, stone, rock, falling, and it is coming from behind you in the tunnel where you left this carriage. I need you all to roll initiative. Initiative.
15.
All right, hold on, because I'm gonna.
Craven. I had a teacher named Miss Craven in high school.
Did everyone else roll? Joe.
I went
Yeah.
to
Okay.
high
Good.
school.
Because I'm gonna roll. You had a teacher named Miss Craven.
Yeah.
Was she evil?
No, but she was like 20 years old. It was something else.
Ah, she was just a young blood trying to teach you all. All right. So we have. Who has the 16 is
Me.
Dokai. 15 right on his heels is Mr. E.
Mr. F.
It's not my name.
I'm only saying it because I'm only writing down Mr. E. Because I'm not writing your whole name. Alstis got an 11. And then. Okay. All right. So at that, Craven is going to go first.
Shit.
Dokai, you did most of the talking, but you're all kind of there, spread out in front of her. I want you to roll a Dokai. Roll a d4 for me.
Sure. 1.
Let me see. One is gonna be okay. She is going to throw something at Mr. Euphoria. Whatever is tied to the end of that string, she takes and she throws it out at you. And you can see the string just still connected to her. As this reaches out, we're going to roll. That is only going to be a 9 to hit, a natural 4. That's ugly.
I'm gonna step out of the way.
Yeah. You step out of the way and it just moves past, and then she like flicks it back, and it's almost like whatever is inside her sleeve coils this thing back up as it moves back towards her.
It's just like one of those Eastern scrolls.
And at that, having missed, she actually steps backwards past the front line of her men as they are slowly starting to move forward.
Are we within melee range of her? Would we get opportunity attacks on her?
No. Nope. So Dokai only moved like 30 feet up. They were still like 30 feet away from you. So she steps back behind the front line of her men, and Dokai is up.
Great. How many men would you say we're staring down right now? 20?
Maybe a little less. Probably about a dozen.
Yeah, if only anyone could have seen this coming. I say. Fucking asshole.
So you're 30 feet into this corridor. They are another 30 feet ahead of you, and the corridor where you left all the other guys, and where you just heard that crash, is just 30 feet behind you too. So just to keep the visuals in mind.
All right. I'm going to throw a dart
Okay.
at the nearest guy.
Sure. At one of the homies. Go for it.
Preferably one that looks maybe unarmored, or maybe he's not.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of like
leather or something.
take a look at the most vulnerable looking. And just roll for that attack. Chat, thank you for complimenting my female voice.
Jesus.
I really touch into all my womanly instincts.
That's a big whiff.
That's a big whiff. It is indeed. As I would say Dokai kind of stops and he just tries to get it between a couple people, hopefully hitting Craven as she's backing up between them. But it doesn't happen. It does bounce off somebody's armor. Someone that, seems to have just leather armor, but just like this one metal shoulder plate, and he just managed to hit that. And it would have been a really good throw if that's what you were trying to hit.
I'm gonna then say, "Run behind cover," and then take off. Back
He just
towards the
fucking
cart.
ran away.
Sure.
What the fuck?
Okay.
I don't know what I expected.
And that ends your turn, Dokai?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. E, Mr. Euphoria, you are up.
So, just so that way I'm positive of what just happened.
Yeah.
Dokai turned and ran away.
Yeah. Yep. He turned and he ran to defend all of your companions, I think is what he was really doing.
Well, I'm going to... And I'm also more than 30 feet away from the
You're
opponent.
You're exactly 30. You are 30 feet from your opponents, and you're 30 feet from where Dokai just went.
All right, I'm going to disengage and run back to the...
Okay. You don't have to disengage because they're
All right.
So you can
just
if you have
to prevent any opportunity attacks or whatever.
Yeah, you have no opportunity attacks coming for you, so you can get back there. And I would say so Dokai and because you guys have 30 feet of movement, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, well, the doctor is out now. Don't want help. Fine.
As you guys are turning that corner, and I'll really lay this out now because now, Mystery, you have visual and you still have an action on you too. As you turn and you see what's happening, all the men, still kind of where they were, seem to be kind of in disarray at this point. There do seem to be other men coming from one of the other tunnels to kind of like get behind all of these men. And indeed, there is a big bunch of rubble that seems to have fallen onto... Roll a d4 for me, Mr. E. Two. It seems to have fallen on top of two of Blanchett's men and crushed them and killed them.
Very nice.
At that point. And it seems as if almost like there was a cave, but it wasn't the ceiling. It's almost like the side had been blown out and thrown forward as these rocks just smacked into these people and hit them. There's still dust settling from what it was. You can't see that too well, but that is what you see. That's what you notice.
No enemy combatants in my melee range.
Nope. No, because they're all on actually like the other side of all of these guys. So, you have like a big carriage and almost 30 guys between you and them.
Then that will be my move, and then I'll hold my action in case one of them comes within my melee range.
All right. Yeah. Absolutely. So you're holding your action. Alstus, you are up. I like this. You guys all go back to back. It's cute.
How tall would you say Craven is?
Craven is just over 5 feet. She actually has like pretty much disappeared as she has gone behind her men because they are considerably taller than her.
I'm gonna duck over into the shadows for a second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna guzzle that potion I made this morning.
What did it end up being? I saw you rolled for it, but I didn't see.
It's a potion of alter self.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn to Craven. I can grow 1 foot taller. And I'm going to say, let's get him in. And I'm gonna start charging.
You charge at them?
No, I'm gonna charge the direction of Blanchett's men, but I'm as Craven.
Okay, so you kind of like ducked to the side, tricked this forward, turned around, and was like, "Let's get him!" Back to them, and just started running.
I look exactly like her.
Okay, I'm gonna say to give a potion to yourself. I like the home brewing that of a bonus action thing. Is there anything you'd like to do with your action?
Oh, there is. I'm gonna take another vial out of my coat, and I'm gonna throw it behind me as I'm running, and I'm gonna cast grease behind me.
All right. Man, I love this kind of combat, man. And usually I go bard to do this kind of fucked up shit, but you know, the artificer works quite well for it too.
That's fine.
All right, so
I'm gonna
you have greased. And how much area does it grease? Like a 20-foot radius? Or 20-foot
I can pull it up. Let me see.
Just so I have an idea of.
It's a 10 foot square, centered around a point within range in terms of difficult terrain.
Square. Okay. Yeah, which would take up this, you know, this at least the majority of this tunnel. Definitely. Okay. Good to know. So that's action, bonus action, movement. You guys are all together. Alstus, do you have a 25-foot move speed?
I believe so. As a gnome, I do.
As a gnome, so you can't quite see the craziness of what's happening around the corner, but I'm
gonna start. When I get to the fence, I'm gonna start looking menacing.
Foaming at the mouth.
I'm no fucking puppet of yours, Blanchett. My accent's terrible.
All right. At that, the men are gonna go. The goons, the thugs, both Blanchetts and Cravens, whatever. They're all just kind of going. So at this point, Blanchett's men. The ones towards the front start running up ahead and start making like a line, getting ready to take on anyone that's coming towards them. They don't have any melee weapons really, and at this point, that's what you guys see. Euphoria and Dokai, you can also see around past the other side of the wagon, some people getting ready and like they're not moving forward though, they're actually moving back like towards the cart. And Dokai and Euphoria, why don't you guys give me insight checks quick?
Insight.
Yeah.
9.
Okay. That's what it is.
Get that fat +0, baby.
Wow.
9.
Yeah, you don't notice shit. Okay, good. That's the end of that.
+5. Awesome.
But that's okay, because at that, you notice something big. Not huge mungus, but big.
Not what?
Not a giant mungus.
Not huge. Yeah, not a giant.
Oh no!
I have returned.
Ooh, that would. Yeah, that would. Really,
Why would you put that in his brain?
that would really date when this happens, right? We'd have a really good idea of the when of this campaign.
Mungus was actually shrunken.
Okay. So it's a creature that is definitely maybe when people were describing Craven, this is what they were actually describing. It is a creature that is over, probably around 7 feet, maybe a little bit taller. It is disgusting. It seems as if it has been sewn together as a patchwork of human flesh, as it is moving around and lumbering. You watch as it swings wildly. It catches one of Blanchett's men right in the chest. You hear this sickening crunching noise, even over everything else that is happening, as this woman that he hits flies back, smacks against the back wall, and falls. Oh my gosh, I got a dancing wife in front of me. Sorry, that was distracting. And at that, so that's another thing happening. Just so you know, it's real gross. At this point, it's not too close to you, but it definitely looks like it is not too worried about making its way through Blanchett's men. And there are also, all of the other men coming from the back there as well. At that, we are back to the top of the round. Craven is going to do stuff you can't see. Dokai, you're up.
Okay. All right. So is the cart pushing forward, or have people?
It has
stopped.
Nope, it has stopped.
These people just can't think for themselves, you know.
Well, they were stopped while you were parlaying, and then all this
I
shit
know.
just went down.
I don't know. How close is the monster?
It is, it's within 25, 30 feet of you. It's on the other side of the wagon, but it is fairly close to the wagon.
All right, and there are like Blanchett's people
Between,
in melee.
yeah. There's about half of them are back there.
Okay.
So there's about, a dozen or so, including, what did we decide on? Maya, including Maya.
Where is she?
She's in the back. She's been in the back this whole time. So she is right now between this creature. Her and, a dozen or so others are between this creature and the wagon.
All right. I'm gonna. How far away is the monster? You said 30 feet.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I'm going in, baby.
All right. So you just go, turn, run, and make your way over to where this creature is.
Yep.
You push through the people that are, because they're actually backing up to get closer, getting closer to each other, trying to find out any way to stop this huge lumbering thing. As you get close, you see it up close, and what is at this point just about putrefying flesh, literally stitched together like a patchwork quilt. Its mouth hanging off and drooping to the side. It stinks to be near. It just has this awful smell to it. And you can go ahead and take your action.
Okay, I would wait for like its swing to kind of come in while it's open.
Sure.
And I would use my short sword to slash at it.
Roll to attack.
Oh baby. $22 to hit.
Yeah, man, that'll do it. Roll for damage.
Six damage.
6. Okay.
I would, as a bonus action,
Sure.
I would use Flurry of Blows.
Yeah, go for it. I will say, after that first attack you get, it seems to take it. It does not seem to do as much damage as you were expecting it to.
Okay.
Now, which one of the Monstars from Space Jam does this monster most resemble, would you say?
Obviously orange.
I would need a visual.
Because they don't have,
like
they might have
with
names.
their
I'm looking
names.
right now.
No, it's actually it's like over 7 feet tall, entirely nude.
Oh, geez.
Disgusting.
There's Pound, who's the orange
fish.
one. Their names are Pound, Bang, Knot, Bumpkus, and Blanco.
Wow.
As they should be. So that's 2 7s to hit.
I think a bump guess would be. I think this is what I'm feeling.
I guess. I accidentally clicked twice.
Let's go a bump.
Yeah. Oh, so hit the 7. 7 is not going to hit.
Okay.
As you do, you hit it, and boom, and you feel, even though this thing looks like it's almost like this putrefying muscle around it, you feel a little bit of a give when you hit it, but it seems to shrug off your blow.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Tokai?
No, that's it.
Sure. Certainly. Mr. Euphoria, you are up. Alstus on deck.
Thinking within my melee range or no?
Um, where you are, no. Uh,
Can I move over to it?
you can. So if you want, you could move. If you move ahead to where you just came from, that's where like the ground is greased, and probably this next turn, there's probably going to be a lot of slip and sliding happening. But you could, if you want to move to like the back end of the caravan, you could definitely get in melee with this monster.
Because I definitely if Dokai is attacking it, I definitely want to flank it
Oh,
because that would be much better for both of us to be fighting it one on each side than just it having one person to focus on.
sure. Um, just as fair warning, because if I don't say it, I'm going to do it to you anyway. There are also all of those people rushing from that end, probably a dozen or so, uh, to fight Blanchett's men. And
Oh,
if
it's that many. It's that
yeah,
many.
yeah. So if you get on the other side of the golem, that's fine, but you're going to be the first person they're going to be aiming at because you're going to be the first person they get to, probably at the end of this turn.
All
Okay.
right, so I'm not going to do that.
You,
I'm
I
just
mean, you
going
can
to.
you can go and fight it, but I'm saying if you're staying in the line with Blanchett's men, you're not as much of a target as if you try to flank this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I'll stay in the line. These guys need someone to focus to focus their attacking with.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
I'll stay with the stay in formation and hold my action until one of Craven's men get into my melee range.
Perfect. Okay, so you're staying in the front
Yeah.
of. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Alstus.
All right, I'm gonna be running. I'm gonna look behind me. I'm gonna light my nose fire starter. Fling it behind
Onto the
me to the
grease.
grease light. Yes, my gnome fire starter.
Okay. And does that just work? What did we do last time? Oh, we
I
rolled.
don't know.
We rolled for how afraid the mules were. I think.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So at that, yeah, you roll that your action. You light and throw your fire starter, and slowly, uh, it starts to sizzle, and then rather quickly, there's a low um, amount of fire happening behind you uh, in this hole.
And I'm gonna run to the line as far
To
as I can.
to the okay, so yeah, you run and you are now like behind the line that is sitting there waiting for Craven's men to get through that fire and
And I'm gonna look at the monster. I'm gonna say, Bumpkus, don't you know me? It's me, Craven.
the creature is still rather far away from you. 'Cause
It's me, your mother.
Mama.
I made you.
All right, and then it's your turn.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Um. Okay. So what am I? So Craven's men in the front. Let's roll a cojones check for them. Yeah, they're feeling cojones-tastic. So they are um, running through this fire, just continuing on. What is the save for your grease? Because it's still slippery.
So the save from a grease is it's a dexterity saving throw, and they have to hit a 14.
Okay, so I'm doing just kind of one general roll to see how well they're doing in a general kind of sense, and that was a 4.
So they fall prone if they fail.
Oh yes, they sure do in the fire. So at this point, they go like we can take a little bit of a burn, and then their legs out. You hear people cracking their heads on the ground, yelling out, screaming as the flames are licking up around them.
Oh, I love a bit of chicken fry.
Okay. Did you guys? I think something happened where you guys all switched spots. So now you're not next to your own art, which isn't great, but there we are. People have been watching this whole time. They know. That was weird. All right. As opposed to the back where Dokai is, um, the attackers, uh, this sortie of Craven's gang meets the wall of force around you as they start fighting. Um, and again, I'm not rolling for each individual person here because it's a larger battle. I'm gonna roll a D. I'm gonna roll a percentile pretty much, and low numbers are gonna mean the battle is going better for Blanchett's crew, and high numbers are going to mean the battle is going better for Craven's. So at this point, being extremely ready. This is again 11, by the way, chat. So yeah, going quite well for Blanchett's. They were ready for that and not having to fight this large monster because Dokai kind of took up with that. They are fine with going after these humans. So that first wave they come start fighting, they're getting slashes up. They were, game mechanic wise, probably all holding an action for when they got there. And they're doing a good job of fighting them off. Dokai, you actually see Maya there, and she's actually backing up though. She is like getting out of the way, trying to get closer to this carriage so that she is not in the middle of the fight. At that, it is going to be the creature's turn, and it is going after Dokai because you are right in its face. So that is going to be the first attack is a dirty 20 to hit.
Yes, of course that hits.
Okay.
Does that stench seem to be having an effect on anyone beyond what I can Can I tell if that is a? Can I smell it from where I?
You can get a whiff of it. No, it does not seem to be mechanical. It seems to be flavor from your wonderfully colorful DM.
Just checking.
Yep. No, it's a good question. What is that? I keep getting this pop up. Okay. Okay, so you take 18 points of bludgeoning damage from that.
I'm down. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm not, but that fucking hurt.
As this huge arm just making a fist comes and its forearm just hits you in the gut and doubles you over. As you knocking the wind out of you, as another arm is going to come from the top and also try and hit you.
Oh, fuck.
That's going to be a natural 19. That's a 26 to hit.
He's dead.
Oh, I am definitely dead.
Whew. Somehow it always happens where I'm rolling well in
just absolute fire.
Yeah, it's fire, baby. Let's see.
I literally have nothing I can do against that.
14 more points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, yeah, I'm down. Sure.
So at that, the other arm comes down and boom! This hand hits you from the top and sends you face first into the ground where you lay unconscious.
That hurt a lot.
Completely out of sight of everybody else.
No, well, from Alstus can probably, because Alstus said he ran back as far as he could. Alstus is kind of towards the center, and even though he's small, you can probably look through people's legs and have a pretty decent vantage point. And Dokai was kind of in the back line of the other people. PCs might have trouble getting to him. I don't know. But that's the state of things as we go back to the top of the crowd where Craven is gonna act, but you don't see what she's doing, and Dokai is up.
All right. I will I'll roll a death save.
Yeah, roll a death save for me.
It's a 15.
Okay, one success. So people in chat, if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, you will know that death saves, unless you're rolling, with crazy different rules, but rules is written, they're so very much on the side of the players. In our games, Dice and Roll20 altogether hate our players and just want them to die. So, a first roll being a success is a lovely, lovely thing. 3 failures and Dokai is no more. Mr. Euphoria, you are up.
Did they move into my melee range yet?
They have not moved into your melee range. However, there are people on the ground in front of you on fire that you could.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you walk forward about 10 feet, you'll get advantage on a melee hit against someone.
I will do just that.
Wonderful.
All right, I'm going to click this, but I don't think it has the right. No, it does. It's just going to be.
It should tell you what the raw roll is anyway at the
Yes.
bottom.
Oh, it's a natural 20 anyway.
That's it. Come on, though. Roll for damage, man. Beautiful.
That's going to be 13 damage. What am I supposed to do with rules as written? It's double what?
the dice, so that's going to be 23 points of damage total. Because
Twen-
you got a 5 and a 5, double that from 10 to 20.
Oh, that's
plus
a
3,
Tatsuba right there.
23.
So hang on a
Yeah,
minute.
give me
If
what this looks like here.
Wait, I was gonna say if there's more than one of them, right? There's more than one of them in front of me that are on fire on the ground.
There are, but they have more than 23 hit points, these guys.
Oh, okay. So this guy's not dead. Okay.
It's not. Well, he's also on fire. So I'm going to say with a nat 20 and that nice roll, you killed him. That
Okay.
plus random fire damage, plus falling and cracking his head open. Yeah, this is going to kill him. Because that's a nat 20 and he should die.
Okay. So I'm just going to step. He looks up through the fire and he sees this just big, hulky tiefling. Euphoria puts his cigar in his mouth, takes his big maul, it just brings it down like Gallagher.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a full watermelon moment as you smash his head open. Brains and embers going and spraying his companions that are trying to get up from the ground, burning themselves. Nice.
Now, does great weapon master, does that give me the is that when you bring somebody to 0, then I get to do another attack or no?
Let's look it up really quick.
Wait. Well, you mean weapon fighting?
Yeah.
Oh,
Great Weapon Master's a feat.
Yeah, so great weapon.
Oh, never mind.
Sir, we're not level 4 yet.
Hey.
Dokai will not make it.
Good hit.
Great weapon fighting is when you roll a 1 or 2 damage die for an attack.
I didn't want to miss out on anything later. Okay, I'm just saying.
With a two-handed. So if you roll a 1 or a 2, you can re-roll. Is what you can do with great weapon fighting, which is still badass. But you rolled already well on that damage. Okay. Anything else you like to do, Mr. E? Mr. Eugene Euphoria.
Can I bonus action? Nah, I'm good. That's nothing that I can't bonus action anything. I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Alstis, you are up. You are close to the back. You watch your friend Dokai as he is smushed into the ground by this stinky flesh monster.
The goddamn cat couldn't even use a goddamn potion. I'm gonna take out one hand and I'm gonna start winding a little knob on my arm right there on my bracer. I'm gonna say, Murray, charge, and I'm gonna release it, and two wires coil around all the way 60 feet to Dokai and hit him in the chest, and I'm gonna and electrical charge blast forth, and that's called Healing Word.
Okay. All right. So it's not actually electricity. It's okay. That's the flavor. Okay, perfect.
Well, that's up to you and Ben Franklin, sir, not me.
We'll converse about it. We'll confer.
we'll see what that
Yeah,
is. But that's a heal.
roll for some healing.
Don't
5
know what that
points of
means.
healing.
That's a good 5 right there.
As Dokai comes back to life.
And then I'm gonna take my action, and I think this is illegal. I don't know though, but I'm gonna use an action to cast a cantrip.
If the cantrip takes 1 action to cast.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna use my acid splash. Actually, no. I'm gonna use shit. Yeah, I'm gonna use my acid splash on him.
On the monster?
On the monster, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
And it's a dex save on his part. It needs to make a 14.
And this is against magic, right?
Yes, this is magic.
All right, so he does have advantage. But he doesn't have great dex.
I'm glad I knew that before I burned the spell slot on.
So that's going to be a 13.
So he fails, but he only takes 1d6. That's 2 points of acid damage right there.
It's acid. Okay, acid damage. All right, he's going to take full damage on acid. So he's going to take,
That's 2 damage.
Take both of those.
Solve the 2 damage. And that's it, sir. It's my action, bonus action, movement.
Perfect. Okay, so at this point in the battle, Blanchett's men have kind of pushed, Craven's gang back about 10 feet or so. Although they are not right now engaging this scary-looking monster. So I'm going to do what I did last time and roll a percentile 48. So it stays rather evenly matched at this point, where they're about 10 feet back, pushed from everyone else, with this monster still there, kind of in the middle. He's going to look around. I'm going to roll kind of like a perception for him. Okay, so that's a nat 20. So at nat 20, wow. Oh no, that's just roll 20, not roll d20. Okay, roll d20. Let's try again.
Somebody post sneaky T in chat.
All right, that's a 4. Yeah, we need sneaky T up in chat, man. I gotta see it.
Whenever anyone rolls 20, you type sneaky T. Sneaky
T. So at that, he is going to attack someone rather inconsequential. So he...
Not more.
No, inconsequential. So...
Basil, no!
He turns around and tries to... tries to grab at one of the men that have pushed back, but just misses them as it grabs. And at that, because I rolled a natural 1, as you see, he gets a little bit off balance. And Dokai, because you are back to life, even though you are on the ground, I am going to give you an attack of opportunity on that nat 1, if you would like to take it.
Use the 1-inch punch.
So
17
small.
to hit.
A 17 is definitely going to hit. Yeah, roll for damage.
No, wait, that's not. Sorry.
Oh, I see. We're looking for the official sneaky T.
All right, that's five damage.
5 points of damage on this guy. Going to be reduced to 2 points of damage.
Oh yeah, baby.
So he's
Gotta
not
use all my monk magics.
he's not looking rough. Your hands are not magical, correct? At this level?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Okay.
Is that's probably a thing, yeah. But
monk fist weapons do become magical at a certain level, but I don't remember what it is, but it's not level 3.
Didn't help Baron much.
So at that, that's gonna. Aw, Baron. I love that thing, chat. By the way, where you try to guess what it is that they're fighting. I haven't seen any guesses coming out. Maybe it's 2 obvious as far as D&D characters go, but let's see. Let's see if you can find out before I say exactly what they're fighting. Um, all right, that is the monster's turn. Back to the top. Craven is going to go, but you can't see what she's doing. Dokai.
Dokai.
So I am going to attack the monster again with my sword. I'm going to try and kind of slash at it. I'm looking for maybe a weak point or something.
Sure. Yeah, trying to find a weak point on this strange kind of patchwork, fleshy
22.
creature. 22 is going to hit, man.
And that is a nice 9 damage.
9 points of damage. Okay.
On my bonus action, I will disengage.
You can bonus action disengage, right? Cool. And then
Step of the wind, and then I will use my feline agility to move 60 feet away.
Sure. Okay.
Actually, I can move up to 80. I don't know how far.
I mean, that would bring you to the front line of battle where Euphoria is fighting if you wanted to go all the way there.
I'd probably kind of go a little in between, but I don't. Probably closer to Alstus, where Alstus is, because he said the full 60 feet. So I would assume he's about 60 feet from me.
Alstus? Well, I thought Alstus was pretty close to you, no? Did you move away after healing Dokai?
No,
You're kind of
well,
in the middle of everything, right?
I'm in the middle of the line, but I don't believe I was that close, as healing word does have a 60-foot range. So as
Yeah,
long as I'm in,
I think you're kind of between the front. You're right where the carriage is, more or less, like between the front and back lines
about
of
that.
battle. Yeah. Because you have to, at this point, you guys don't have too much to go. You probably only have 30 feet between the front line and back line of where this battle is taking place. Just as a reference.
Yeah, so I would move about 60 feet to where Alstus is. Kind of wait there.
Okay, yeah, you're in the middle. You're right about where Alstus is. Perfect. Euphoria, you are up. At this point, there are people in front of you. Actually, I didn't roll to see that front line to see if they were able to kind of get their feet. No, they are still slipping and sliding all over the place. Barely any of them have gotten to their feet yet.
Are there any more prone on the ground?
There absolutely are.
You're not trapped. He's not trapped in here with you.
Take another big swing. Had advantage on the prone one or no?
Oh, absolutely.
No. Somehow missed. Miraculously.
You did, yeah. So as you do, the person on the ground, he sees the attack coming and rolls out of the way as, your sword, yes? Maul. Scrapes against the ground, sending a few embers of some greasy flames flying. All right, anything else you would like to do?
Nope. I'm all set.
All right, Alstus, you are up.
All right, I'm gonna look at that monster and I'm gonna say to him, well, we're one way or another, one of us is going down, and I'm gonna take I'm gonna pull out my pack, I'm gonna pull my crowbar, and I'm gonna load it onto my launcher like a Nerf gun, pull it back, and say, "Good luck," and fire. And I cast catapult at him. He has to make a dex save.
All right. And this is also a spell, right?
It is. It's a dex.
Ooh, so he's gonna get a. I rolled a nat 3 twice.
All right, so he's gonna take damage from that crowbar. Flies into it and slams into his fucking head.
What kind of damage does it do? Well, it's a magical attack.
Magical bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, it's a magical attack, so it'll take full damage. Right. Okay.
16. Holy shit.
16 damage.
16, 3d8, 16.
Nice,
4, 7,
man.
5. Woo!
Yeah.
more than I
At
could
that,
do in,
what
like,
was it
10
that? What was
turns.
it that you catapulted at him?
Crowbar.
Bar.
A bar?
A crowbar.
It was my crowbar from my Dungeoneer's pack.
Yeah, and as it does, you launch it, and it actually like pierces through its shoulder. And looks like it would go through, but the hook on the end of the crowbar catches it. So it now has like this like metal thing just stuck right through it as this pussy liquid shoots out of its back, where the end
Oh,
of the
shit.
crowbar shoots through.
I'm turn. I said, Maury, you see that?
And Murray's just
That's my turn.
as he's on the thing. Okay. Okay, so at that point, that was Alstis, so we're at the other one. Let me roll another percentile. It's been going fairly well. Okay, so at that point, with an 88, Craven's group starts to push back against Blanchett's. They start moving back, kind of like in line with where this golem is now, as it's looking around at the lot of them. Over at the front line, we're going to see if they can get their feet. Yeah, at this point, those in the fire, though they are burned from a couple turns, they're starting to get to their feet and moving their way at you. So, Mr. E, roll a d4 for me.
2.
2 of them are going to come at you. At that, as others start moving past you and away, and there's now a full other battle happening towards this front line. So that is going to be.
Am I flanked by any?
You are not flanked, no, because those that move
Okay.
past you continue beyond to fight the Blanchett's gang behind you.
I meant by Blanchett's gang. Is there anyone with me at this
Oh,
point?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're close to, again, about a dozen or so.
Okay.
Does a 12 hit you? I don't think so.
It does not. My armor class is 16.
Okay, so. Oh, they get multi-attack. That's right, you guys are level 3. I'm up in this for you guys. So this guy is swinging a maul at you. The first one, you duck behind. The second attack is going to be a natural 1. So at that, he just slips on a little bit of the grease. I'm going to let you take an attack of opportunity on him if you would like.
Yes, I would. I'm gonna like kind of. Well, let me see if I hit him first before I do anything. Try to be cool. Oh yeah, I hit 22.
22 definitely hits. Roll for damage.
All right, that's gonna be 8. 8 damage.
Sir, you can use your great weapon fighting if you roll the 1.
Oh, you're right. You are correct.
No problem, sir. That's why I yell.
Yep.
1d6. All right, see, that's a lot. That's a lot better. That's gonna be 11. That's gonna be 11 damage.
11 points of damage. Much better. Much better. Okay.
So when he goes to swing, I kind of just slap it because it's gone wide, and I just hit him with it.
Yep. At that, as you do that, trying to get the opportunity while you're attacking, another one comes up and tries to hit you as well. Let's see. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
Yes, that does hit.
That is going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yep.
And that is going to, and he's going to come back, try to hit you a second time. That is going to be a 23 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
That is going to be just 3 points of bludgeoning damage. As he kind of boom, boom, hits you a couple times as you're trying to dodge, but also trying to take this opportunity attack against the other. At that, it is going to be the monster's turn. I'm going to do another. That time is definitely a natural 20. So Dokai, you're standing up. at this point, but he actually looks beyond you to one of your companions that is directly behind, and he gets Maya in his sights, and he takes a step forward and swings at her. Of course, I lost. I don't have enough bookmarks on this pages, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. Because but that is only a 10 to hit. Wow, bad roll when I'm rolling against NPCs, y'all. So he does swing once at Maya, who jumps back, stepping out of his range. At that, he. Oh no, Dokai has already stepped back.
What was the natural? What was the natural 20 for?
The natural 20 was to see if he is going to attack an NPC of note, as opposed to a faceless NPC. Uh, in my mind, almost like a perception check of like who am I looking towards. So after that swing misses, he is going to turn and roll to try to hit one of Blanchett's other men, which again is just a natural one. He is just like blundering and slipping and sliding all over the place. And he's unable to hit anything around him. Now that people are kind of wise to it and understand that this is a thing that they are dealing with. Um, at the top of the round, you do in fact see Craven come out behind her men in the back where the monster is. But she is behind them, probably about 20 feet or so behind her other men, as she's sitting there staring and watching. Um, as everything is happening. Dokai, you are up.
All right, so he moved up and attacked Maya and missed.
Yes.
But how far away relatively was she to me?
15 feet or so.
Okay. And Eugene's about 15 feet behind me, or in front of me.
Yeah.
In the opposite direction.
I'm by front. I'm just thinking the way the wagon is like facing, right? So I consider that the front. So yeah, he's about 15, 20 feet now in front, and then she's about 15 feet behind where you are.
All right, I'm gonna say, we need to push through to Craven, and I'm gonna run towards one of the guys that I see near Eugene.
Eugene is the opposite side of where Craven is.
Oh, I thought she was behind her men, which is
She was behind there. Obviously, she has ducked down another path. She just now popped out behind her other men in the back of this. Like where the monster is. So she, during those few turns where she wasn't, she was doing things but you couldn't see, she has now made her way to the back where this creature is.
Where's Blanchett in all this?
On top of the wagon.
Still.
Yes.
He hasn't attacked anyone?
So, thing is, they have no ranged weapons. Okay. They have all melee weapons. So he has not, but he also has a sword to his side, and no crossbows, nothing like that to speak of.
It's like in one of those tactics. It's like in Fire Emblem or some shit where he's stuck in the back, and you're like, "Fuck! I need to get this guy. I need to get this guy in front." It's a good unit.
Well, I mean, to be fair, could he jump down, run forward, and attack? It is very well within the realm of possibilities. He is keeping his ass on top of this wagon right now, though.
All right, I'm going to yell at them, push the wagon forward. And I'm going to run towards where Eugene is and attack somebody near him.
Perfect. Okay. Before you roll to attack, roll a persuasion for me.
Okay.
Now, oh no, that was from my roll. Good, okay. 11. It's not going to take too much for Eugene. All right, perfect. So, yeah, so you go, and now you're like shoulder to shoulder right next to Euphoria as you can attack. Are you going to attack the one that he already hit, or the one he has
Yes.
not hit? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Here we go. Classic.
Damn it,
Yeah,
all right. Bonus action. I'll unarmed strike.
sure.
Wow.
KS classic.
A 12 is going to hit.
Okay. That is 6 points of damage.
6. Okay, nice. At that, between Euphoria's hit and the fire that he was in for a couple rounds, that is going to do it. So you kind of come around, plant your feet, swing your sword, he blocks it, but then you come around to the other side, hit him right off the chin as he falls back into the fire, but then unmoving.
Nice. I will gain temporary hit points. So I'm up to.
Chat, how proud are you of us that we absolutely started on time today? I was pretty impressed. I hope you were too.
I'm up to 11. I have 11 HP now, so which is nice.
Oh, Dokai, I can't hear you at all. Can anyone else hear him?
Can't hear me at all.
Yeah, I can hear him fine.
I can't hear anyone.
Matt went deaf.
Oh,
We can hear
because-
you.
I'm sorry. No, my computer is muted. That was weird. I must have hit something on my keyboard. What were you saying, Dokai? I'm sorry about that. I'm accidentally muted.
So when I reduce somebody to 0 hit points, I gain temporary hit points
Okay.
based on my whiz and my monk level. So I have 6 temporary hit points.
6 temp hit points. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, stack that stuff, man. Cool. Anything else you like to do?
No, that is it.
Good. Okay. After Dokai, Euphoria, you are up. So one of the two that was attacking you drops right back into the fire he just got up from. You are now shoulder to shoulder with your companion. What are you to do? There is someone else in front of you.
Well, obviously, I'm going to hit this guy that's right in front of me. That
Go
thinks
for
he's. Advantage or no?
Not at this point.
Even with the flank, even with my companion right next to
You're
me?
not flanking, because in order to flank, one of you would have to step into the fire.
Okay. I'll take a swing at him. 21.
That'll definitely hit, 100%. Roll for damage.
And one of those is a
2, so you can
2.
roll, definitely.
And that's worse. So I have to
Keep the
take that
2.
one.
Oh, you can you?
You have to
can't
you have to
choose.
you have to take the new one.
Have to take the new. Okay. 3.
So 1 + 3 + 3, so 7.
7 points of damage. Nice. Okay.
I'm just gonna say I just kind of butt stroke him with it, and that's why it's less damage.
He struck his butt.
That's usually something you would do with your companions back after the battle, but if you want to butt stroke this guy, yeah, you just you
Demonetized.
you swing. He thinks that he's parried you, but then you come back up and get him right in the forehead with the butt of your weapon as he's like staggered for a second. If that ends your turn, Alstis, you are up, my friend.
You know, I watched my 2 companions go over and fight the guys flailing in the grease fire I made, and I said, well, I guess someone's going to have to fight the boss. And I turned to Craven and the flesh golem, and I acid splashed both of them at the same time.
They are far away from each other. Craven is.
I thought they were together.
We're fighting the ads, don't you?
So there is the golem with like Craven's men. Craven just came out of a corridor and is like 20 feet behind them.
All right, can I attack the golem and then one of Craven's men at the same? If it's
You
near
definitely
the
can
golem?
do. You can probably hit
All right.
two of
So-
the men because they're pretty close together.
Sure, that's what I'm gonna try to do with the acid splash, and they have to make a dex save. 14.
So the golem I'll do first because I know his dex off the top of my head because it's really bad. That's gonna be a 17.
So he makes it.
Okay. And these other guys, I don't know what their dex is. I gotta check quick. Oh, +0, so it's a straight d20 roll. So the first one, it's gonna be a 4, and the second one is gonna be a 14.
So yeah, so the 14 would make it, but the 4 would not. So
Okay,
I'll
yeah. So
roll
you
damage
definitely
on.
get damage on one of them.
Oh, that's a 2 points of acid.
2 points of acid damage as this does, and it just hits off the floor. It gets a little bit on this golem. It doesn't seem to be really affecting it, but it does splash onto the face of one of Craven's men. And don't you know that it is exactly the one that Acid Face is fighting currently? And he looks and says, "Aha!" and presses his attack with renewed vigor, having his opponent be acid splashed. Anything else you'd like to do?
Is there anything? I don't know if this would be an action. If it is
Okay.
Matthew, that's fine. But is there an action? Is there anything above us in the cavern that I could potentially be able to latch onto rope, or is it just a flat surface?
No, it's not totally flat. There is some stone and rock you'd probably be able to. It's pretty tall at this point, but with your magical ropey thing, and you can make it do stuff as a bonus action. So right?
So as a bonus action, I can make it move, but I can only make it move 10 feet every turn. So kind of it's gonna kind of inchworm its way up if I see something. It's gonna kind
Yeah.
of
All right. So it's
slowly
doing
move up to.
na 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 na,
Yeah,
and it
exactly,
starts moving
exactly.
up 10 feet. Okay. Good to know.
That's it. That's all. That's 2 point. That's 2 point.
All right, so
More deeps.
next turn it'll reach
Snake
something
charmer.
it can attach to. Okay, for the front, uh, where Euphoria and Dokai are, let me roll a percentile. So at this point, you are fighting, and Blanchett's men are also fighting back those that had rushed past. And they have pushed them back to almost be into this fire, as they're just clashing and trading blows at this point. In the back, where the golem is. It is the other way. Craven's men are pushing ahead and into this as they are taking down. Now, Acid Face manages to take down his guy as you watch him stab him right through the chin and pull out his weapon and look around for the next victim. But then he starts backing up as the general press of Craven's gang has backed up um, has actually backed up Blanchett's men to that wagon. And Blanchett is actually, at this point, he's on the back of the wagon, stabbing out with his sword towards people and trying to use the high ground and surprise to his advantage as he's trying to protect his men from up high. And then from there, we have a monster to go. As he looks around, he is going to attack one of Blanchett's men. That's kind of right against the carriage. At that with an 18, he takes him and just smacks him out of the way. The guy goes kind of flying, hits the ground, and stops unmoving. Uh, Without anyone directly in his way, he actually is going to just punch at the back of the carriage. That big metal cage that is there.
Shit.
Yeah, at that he makes contact as the whole thing shakes. At this point, it has started to inch forward. Actually, as I want to call him Remy. I don't know why. I know that's not his name. As Murray is trying to move the mules, but they don't know what to do. So they're only inching. There's other guys fighting in front of them. And once they turn the corner, there's fire over there, too, that the mules probably aren't going to be too excited to go through. But at this point, you actually watch Blanchett almost lose his footing as this creature, correctly guessed by chat to be a flesh golem, makes contact with the cage, denting it in. Top of the round, Craven is going to go. And she is. Oh, natural 2. That's awful. She, out of her sleeve again, she throws that thing and attempts to hit Blanchett on top of this carriage, but missing him, going extremely wide as he wobbles with the carriage after the golem attacks it. She brings that right back to her. This thing that she's throwing that appears to be a needle, as if she's throwing a needle in thread. Dokai, you are up.
How many more men are in the direction of the fire? Does it seem like?
Roll a d12.
Two.
There are 2, and there is the one you are fighting, and then because Blanchett's men on that last roll I made were making such a great push, they have pushed people back to the fire. Craven's men are scared as their back is to it. They don't want to die, and they're making bad mistakes, and they are all being cut down left and right. So there's the one that like you and Euphoria are fighting, and then there's another one that is nigh on surrounded by Blanchett's men. So up here in the front, you guys are doing quite well.
All right. I would continue attacking the one that's in front of us then.
Okay, yeah, roll to attack.
That's a 7.
Okay, 7
Bonus
is.
action.
Yep.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it doesn't hit, so go ahead.
Two 7s. So.
Yep. All right, 7 is.
Right, man. 7s.
They do not have a super high AC, these guys, but it is higher than a 7.
I have a +5 to hit, which is awesome.
I know. Thank you for hanging in there, all of our viewers and chat and everyone. We're going a little bit longer than usual, but we have a rather large
Need to finish it.
battle. Yeah, I'm not going to stop in the middle of this. There's
Let's
a
do it.
fleshy golem. Come on, man.
Fucking go.
Let's go. All right. Dokai, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Euphoria, you're up.
Swing. Let's kill this guy in front of me.
Yeah, go for it.
20.
20 will hit, man. Roll for damage. Dirty 20, by the way, guys. Not didn't quite get the nat, but a 20 nonetheless. And for damage, we got.
God. Whatever.
Oh, get to re-roll that one with the great fighting master.
That's going to be 12 damage.
Damn. All right. Yeah, with that plus the fire damage plus the damage from last turn. Explain what it looks like as you cut this guy down.
This guy was standing up, or
Yep, he was standing up, like almost his back to the fire as he's trying not to let himself get pushed into it by the lot of you.
I'm gonna hit him right here in the clavicle,
Yeah.
and I just want to hit him, and then he's dead before he hits the ground.
Yep, absolutely.
Just snaps.
As he doesn't quite fall back, but just crumbles right where he stands. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to do?
What am my HP at? No, I'm okay.
All right, Al Stizzy, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna look at old Craven over there, and I'm gonna say there can only be one, and I'm gonna cast poison spray at her.
All right, and that has the range for it.
Well, how far am I away?
Probably 30 feet.
So I can get closer, correct? I need to.
You can. So you're, I would say, 10 feet back from where the golem is, and like Craven's men. So if you walk 10 feet forward, you're going to be kind of in line where they're pressing forward. So you can do that, but you will be then in melee with
Okay, I have a
some
question.
shit.
Can I, with my bonus action first, command my rope to attach itself to the ceiling?
Absolutely, you may.
Can I then Tarzan swing on my rope? Use my movement.
I'm sighing because I'm picturing this, and I'm excited and sad all at once that I have to picture this. So with your okay, so you climb. Bonus action, the rope wraps
Right.
around something on the ceiling. You movement climb the rope, and then from there, what do you like? Start kicking your legs like you're on a swing?
No,
Like how many?
I imagined it. I imagined it somewhat like I I took it, and then I took a running start, and I George the Jungle my way, and I kind of flew through the air.
I want you to roll an acrobatics check for me,
I will do
Alstus.
that for you. That's a natural 20, sir.
Oh, so at this, you grab the rope and you actually run away from the golem at first, and then using the momentum, holding onto the rope, you like parkour around the side of the wagon, go right over the golem's head, and land perfectly on your feet, behind the line of uh, Craven's men, as you stare her directly in the
And
face.
I can't waste any more vials. So much like that one enemy in Darkest Dungeon, I just kind of splash.
Okay.
kind of splash my poison at her.
All right.
And she has to make a con save.
It's a tempting goblet. Bloop.
Thank God.
That's a nat
Hear a little splashy
19.
sound. It makes just takes no damage after all that. And I just kind of look at myself and like, fuck.
Yeah, and as you like land, and you look also, and you go, yeah, and it just, she just like steps back as it,
Fuck. All right, well,
and her
that's all I got.
sights are on you now.
I'll do a little tongue action at her. That's my turn.
All right. So, at the front, Craven's men have been taken care of. Blanchett's group, your group, has taken them out. Towards the back, I'm going to go ahead and roll another percentile to see which way it's going. It's rather even at this point. They're not able to push back one way or another, but Blanchett's men start to like kind of fortify using this big, heavy, caged, cage-backed carriage as like a defense as they start to fortify a little bit. Now being reinforced as the rest of Blanchett's men come from the front, and now the numbers are overwhelmingly in your favor. However, there is, of course, still a flesh golem.
Who was taking like 2 points of damage.
He's taken a little more than 2. He is going to, at this point, he turns around to one of Blanchett's men and swings at them. Doesn't manage to hit, just barely they get out of the way as he turns and tries to hit another. Oh my god, another nat 1. At that, I'm going to give Blanchett an attack of opportunity because he's right above him. Yeah, and that is going to do it. What would... as he just stabs right down into this thing, pulling out his blade. Another small jet of this pussy white fluid shoots out of the creature. And that's going to be halved to 6 more points of damage. At that, Craven is going to go again back at the top of the round. She is once more, though she has not hit with it yet, going to try
sees
to...
Another of herself, standing closer, looking disappointed at his vial.
Yeah, so she takes out this thing and looks right to you and throws it at you as it comes through and pierces right into your shoulder and sticks there.
Wait, she have to roll to hit?
She did. She rolled a 17. Nat
My
17.
AC's 18.
Oh.
That's lizard scale.
That was a nat 17. And then she would have probably like a +4 to hit.
Oh, well, so. All right. Well, that's fine. Whatever.
And then you take 7 points of piercing damage.
Shit.
And it is in you. It is stuck in you. This thing, as she kind of like smiles. All right. Dokai is up.
All right. So there's one guy left who's kind of being surrounded.
He is at this point on like the battle turn he was killed. There are no other enemies to the front of the wagon. There is still like greasy fire on the ground, but there are no more enemies in your direction. They are all to the back of this area.
So I'm assuming that the cart is like, it's mostly wood. I know there's a cage, but
the cart is wooden, yep, entirely except for that metal cage on its back.
Nice. All right.
And it is ever so slowly moving forward.
Ooh. How big is the fire, would you say?
It's about a 10-foot cube.
Yeah. Pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably burn out fairly quickly, but I mean, these mules, if they get to the point where they're around the corner, are probably not going to be like, "Let me walk through fire."
All right, I'm gonna rush the golem. I don't really have much else to do, so
bum rush the show, bro. Roll for damage. I mean, to attack first. Let's do that first, probably.
18.
18 will certainly hit. Yeah, roll for damage on that.
6 damage.
6 damage. As you come around with your sword and slash just after Blanchett has pulled his blade out. What else? Anything else you're going to do on your turn?
Bonus action, I will use patient defense.
Nice. Okay, cool. Perfect. Euphoria, you're up.
Okay. I mean, there's still more guys coming my way, or can I assist with this flesh golem yet?
There are no more guys where you are at the front of this battle. Everyone is in the back. You may, if you choose, attack a flesh golem.
I am going to move to attack the flesh golem with my companions.
Perfecto. Roll to attack.
15.
15 will definitely hit. Roll for damage.
That is going to be 11 damage.
11 damage. Okay. Nice. Again,
how's this flesh golem looking right now? Is he looking?
I actually need to check for his turn.
On a scale of 1 to 100.
He's looking on the cusp of being rough.
Oh. Woof.
Yeah.
And for my bonus action, nah, I'm fine.
Okay. Nice. Alstus, you are not around your companions, right? There are actually Craven's men between you and your companions at this point, and you right now have this needle stuck in you, attached to a string attached to Craven, who is just in front of you.
I say, how do I keep ending up in these situations? And I'm gonna grab on to the line.
Yep.
and I'm gonna just flick a little bit of acid, and it's gonna fall all the way. It's gonna just slowly slide down all the way down. Because a poison spray.
Okay, we're gonna have a very Bugs Bunny poison spray. Roll to attack.
It's a save. It's a con. It's a
Oh.
con save for her. Oh, this is exhausting.
She definitely fails.
Fine. All right, good damage, boys. Good damage. Come on, let's go. That's 7 points of damage. 7 points.
This is the first bit of damage she's taken. Craven, that's 7 points of damage. Okay, good to know.
I'm going to use my bonus action to command the rope to knot, to tie itself in the
To
knot.
knot what?
To give myself advantage to climb it if I need to.
All right, so you're ready to climb back the other way if need be.
If I need to.
Sure.
That's it.
Okay. At that, the men are fighting again. These two gangs. At this point, Craven's group doesn't have very much of a chance, as they're being rather overwhelmed by the numbers. So I'm gonna say. I just heard really loud fiddle music coming from upstairs. That was very distracting. So I'm going to roll again, but I'm going to say instead of half and half, I'm going to give Blanchett's men up to like 66%, and then anything above that is going to be. Oh, yeah. Blanchett's men are just absolutely steamrolling. At that point, actually, Craven's men are largely turning tail and running those that can get away. They have seen that they are lost and they would like to live, and they are running as quickly as they can. At that point, Blanchett, you actually see, look up, point to Craven, and say, "Make sure you kill that one!" And then it is the Golem's turn. Starts with 4. He has... Okay. So he is going to... who's in melee? Euphoria and Dokai. Euphoria, yep. Roll a d4 for me. 1, it's you. 2, it's Dokai. 3, 4, it's one of the other people surrounding. Okay, so he's going to look at you, Mr. Euphoria, and swing.
MR.
As an 18 to hit. All right, that is going to be 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
You're still up, right?
Yeah.
Then he swings at you again. That is going to be a 20 to hit.
Yep.
I mean, it's +7, but still, like, geez, damn.
Yeah, the +7 is not bad. That's going to be 13 more points of bludgeoning damage.
Yep.
As the first hit just knocks you up against the cage, the second hit, again, just knocking you against it, as this whole wagon is rattling.
Are you still up?
I am now just unconscious.
Just unconscious. Okay. Oh, okay. At that, yeah, he hits you, and actually the bars bend in after his hits, after hitting you into it a couple times, and you are stuck, entwined in the metal bars of this as the carriage starts to slowly move forward unconscious. All right. At that, Craven is up. Being attached to you, she is going to flick her wrist, pissed that you just splashed her with acid, and this electrical charge jumps down this wire and goes towards you. I need you to make a dex save at disadvantage, Alstus.
Oh, that's a natural one.
Oh,
that's not good. That's not good at all.
Shit.
You're gonna take 8 points of
whoa, that's not good at all.
Electricity damage, as it's just
looking rough.
All right. And this thing is still in you. That was
Eureka!
Great Scott.
Great Scott.
Okay. And at that, Dokai is up.
21.
Fuck. Fuck. I have no key points left.
Euphoria's down. I'm at not much hit points, and I'm electrocuted.
You have a good amount of guys still alive around you.
Wouldn't it be great if any of them did anything?
This is a casual.
Well, they were fighting the other like couple dozen guys that were fighting you. That
I'm gonna say, get Eugene to safety, and I'm gonna swing at the golem again.
swing away. Oh, sweet Dokai, swing away. Yeah, man, 21 will hit.
Medicine, baby. Yeah. Oh baby,
Ugh.
that's a 4, half to 2.
Sorry. Half to 2. All right. He takes both of those points of damage. Yes, indeed.
And then
Unarmed strike. Yeah, 100%. That's gonna hit. Roll for damage again, man.
5, half to 2 is again.
Okay. Yeah, as you are just like chipping away, you're hitting it, and at this point, he has like points where as he's hit, he's just oozing out this pus from his body as it's now slumped over more than it was previously. It's starting to look rough, y'all.
It's starting to look rough.
You know, it did before that 2 damage. It wasn't looking rough. Now at this point, with that 2 extra damage, it's looking more rough than it was before that. Anything else you would like to do, Dokai?
It's like I'm right in melee with it, so no.
Okay, Euphoria, give me a death save. Euphoria, were you the last one who hasn't
Ooh.
gone down in this campaign yet?
Yes, so that's 1 fail.
1 fail. Okay. At that point,
I have not gone down yet, sir.
you haven't gone down yet, Alstus? Well,
Yeah.
no time like the present. It's your turn. It's your
You're
turn,
being-
Bunny. What are you gonna try to do?
I'm gonna yell, Doug. I used my spell slots on you, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna turn and fucking poison sprayer again.
Let's poison sprayer again?
This time
Sure.
We're gonna do that like thing they do on like I don't know, like yeah. That's not cool. And I poison Wisconsin.
That is
God.
a natural 19.
God damn. All right. Well, that's she makes it. I'm gonna climb a fucking rope to get away.
Okay. So you are still attached to her by a string as well.
Correct.
So you need to even move away. It's going to be like a contested athletics roll.
It's not my strong suit. That's only a 4.
Yeah, she got a natural 20.
Jesus.
So you go to do it, and she just grabs and just yanks towards you as you just and you feel it pulling. It's actually going through your armor and is like caught in your flesh, but inside the armor too. And as you try to like pull away, you are unable to get away. Is that in your turn?
Bonus action. Healing word. Mr. Euphoria.
I don't have any spells left, and I'm going to turn. I want to turn her, and I'm just gonna shrug me like.
Okay. Bonus action shrug. Good. Okay. At that point, let me roll this really quick. To see. Oh, that's another
Natural 20, yep.
20. Okay. So Blanchett was actually rather persuasive.
Two back-to-back 920s.
Yeah, you know. Although this one was for the NPC on your guys' side, so remember, I'm non-discriminatory here. You know, I get good rolls for all the NPCs. So when Blanchett asked them to go make sure they killed her, right? Uh, there are gonna be Alstus. Why don't you roll this for me? Roll a d6 to see how many people are coming to your aid against Craven.
5.
Oh yeah. Okay. So they are going to. A group of 5 of them run up towards her. 1, 2, and 3 of them are going to hit as they just start surrounding her and just start trying to pretty much just beat her with clubs. Is pretty much what they're doing now. And they are entirely surrounding her. And it's pretty brutal. So she's going to take 3, 8, plus 5. That's 16 points of damage to Craven. So at this point, she is entirely surrounded by 5 people who are just absolutely beating her. And I'm going to say she's not going to be able to get away. She's not going to be able to just easily get away from that. The other ones, Dokai, why don't you roll a d6 for me?
4.
Okay, so 4 people come up and are able to get around this golem and are all going to take attacks against it.
Ooh.
3 of them are going to hit. This is the quick math, y'all. 18 points of damage. That's going to be halved to 9 against the golem. As now, with most of the battle won by you all, by Blanchett's group, they are just absolutely surrounding and just beating with bats and mauls and whatever they have attached, and they are just going at whatever, and as like gang mentality almost, as they're just beating this thing. And Craven, the other side's leader. The monster is going to go next. Dokai, roll a d4. A 1, it's going to attack you. Any other number, it's going to attack someone else. All right. So it is going to hit one of Blanchett's men. And yes, this stuff is going to matter because I am keeping track of how many of his men die, which is why I'm doing this, even though they're not attacking you.
What a great dungeon master.
You know,
That's the stuff you want to see right there.
Yeah, I'm not doing this
Taking notes.
just to waste time. It is wasting time. That's not my whole reason for doing it. Okay. So he gets one good smack against one of them. You hear the breaking of a neck as it swings again widely and just smashes against the cage, but not doing really any damage to it. Top of the round, Craven is going to... well, she can't do too much, but she can let out a little bit more electricity
Hold on.
against you, Alstus. As you are still connected to her by this string, I need you to make another. What was it? A dex save at disadvantage.
20. Oh, a disadvantage? What a disadvantage?
Because you're connected to her by a string.
4, 5.
Okay. You are going to take 10 points of...
I'm out. I'm down.
Yeah, as
Hey.
that happens, Alstus screams and falls over, having
I do
taken.
that thing where I actually my spirit leaves my body, have a little flower, and then I just
Yeah,
sinks.
just. I love Alstus is the Looney Tunes of this world. Really, we haven't had another character like him in the world. It's good, so good. Dokai, you're up, man.
All right. This is rough. This is rough. I'm going to disengage
Okay,
since they're both being attacked by people.
they sure are.
And,
Yeah, they're both rather
and
surrounded.
I'm gonna run over to Alstus
Mhm.
and attempt to um, stabilize him.
Okay, how are you doing that?
Like a medicine check. I'm gonna
Well,
kind of take out.
I will say he still has this needle with a string sticking into his shoulder.
All right, so that will be my first
So you can
plan of
roll a
action.
strength check to try to pull that out, if you would like.
Okay.
It's not a terribly difficult check, but it does take an action.
Oh boy.
And it is more than a 6. Not a terribly difficult check, but more than a 6th. A 6. As you go, and you grab it and you try to pull it out. And every time we get into battle, Tony thinks I'm going to TPK. But it's actually stuck in the bit of his armor, so you're unable to get it out.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's it for now.
Okay, Euphoria, give me
Unless
Oh.
I can maybe try and drag his body a little bit to like a safer place, but I know he's still attached. So
he
it
is
doesn't really.
attached. But if you want to like wrap your arm around the wire so it's not pulling on him, you can make a contested strength check against Craven. Hers would be at disadvantage because she's currently being beaten up and has other things she's worried about.
Sure.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, she got better than your 1 plus 1. She got a 7. So you're unable to drag him.
Oh no, baby Jesus. What did I do? In a past life to this. Oh wait.
Okay. Euphoria, give me a death save.
I rolled a 13.
13. Okay, 1 fail, 1 success. Alstus, give me a death save.
Yes, sir. 6.
That's a fail.
Hey.
1 fail. All right. At this
Playing a tiny harp as I ascend to gnome heaven.
At this point, Blanchett's men rush out, and Blanchett starts climbing down. He sheathes his sword and starts climbing down from this cage himself. He runs directly over to where Craven is currently on the ground, getting just absolutely pummeled and beaten, entirely surrounded by his gang. The flesh golem makes a couple more wild swings as he is being surrounded and pummeled until one of them finally takes out its leg and it falls, and again just absolutely surrounded and starting to be beaten as on top of that cage, Musha kind of looks on, wide-eyed, seeing what's happening. So battle combat, guys, at this point is over. Craven's gang has run. Craven is dead. She is on the ground being absolutely pummeled. The flesh golem is dead. It is on the ground being pummeled to a pussy, fleshy pulp.
All right, I'll make another death save then. Out of combat.
Unless, well, I'm gonna say I don't. Dokai might at this point. Dokai, the thing has gone slack. There's no tension on it anywhere. You can move him if you want. You can make another attempt to get that needle out of Alstus.
Sure.
And if you
With a
manage
strength
it,
check.
with a strength check. If you manage it, I'm going to give him advantage. Yeah, at that, you go and you pull it out. And I'm going to say, Alstus, I'm going to give, with that, I'm going to give you advantage on the death save. Having, literally the thing that killed you pulled out of you.
All right, I'll take that advantage, and I'll roll a natural 20 in the first one.
Yeah. So the second he pulls it out, you just come back to life.
I'll take my
Nice.
take my tinker's tools out, take my wire cutters, and I'll snip the wire.
Yeah.
The needle.
Okay, you have a needle.
Shit.
All right. Mr. Euphoria, give me another death save.
Success.
16. So that's a second success. What are the rest of you doing? You do turn around. You see that the battle
is stuck. I'm stuck in the cage.
You are in the cage. It's like wrapped up in your armor a little bit, like kind of stuck, so that you're like hanging out a little
Flintstone.
bit, but not quite falling. Yeah.
Like a Brontosaurus kicked Fred Flintstone into it.
Yes. Yeah. It is very much like Iron Man has like fallen into the building and is just stuck in it. What are you guys doing, Alstus and Dokai?
Is the fire still going?
Help.
You can't see from this angle. It's around the corner. You can go check.
I would make sure that Eugene is also okay.
I mean, if you want to do that, you can do that too, I guess. Yeah, you go over to Eugene. He doesn't look great. He is unconscious and stuck inside the cage of this carriage.
I would take out my water skin.
Okay.
And my prayer wheel.
Yeah.
And I would just splash some water on his face and say,
Kalima.
Saya is not ready for you yet.
All right. Euphoria, you can give me a death save, and I'll take advantage on that. You can take advantage on that as well.
All right, well, I got it at the first one.
Beautiful. Yeah, so at that, the third success, the last one you needed, you come back to life, and Dokai is starting to help extricate you from this cage. Alstus, what are you doing?
I'm going to use my second wind.
Yep, 100%.
As my bonus action.
Yeah, go for it. Alstus, what are you doing as you've come back to life and...
I am going to I'm going to turn to my water skin.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say wine. I'm going to start chugging.
Chugging some wine. All right.
I give it a good shake.
As you're standing there, just like doing that, give me a perception check as well, of just like the surrounding area.
That's only a 9.
A 9. Yeah, you're looking around. As you do at this, taking some swigs and just shaking your head from everything that's happening. Euphoria taking care of himself. Dokai making sure Euphoria is up, standing, is able to hold himself on his 2 feet. Alstus, you do manage to see that definitely the gang that you're now part of, Blanchett's gang, is like going to town, just beating on this pulp that was once the flesh golem. But
can I make a sorry, man, I don't mean to interrupt you, Matthew, but can I make a check of some kind to see if I can tell what this fucking thing is? Like, if I know anything about it, I don't know what that would be, history or nature or something. But like, have I ever seen it?
You can roll an Arcana check roll an Arcana check as like
23.
23, really good, yeah. So okay, because your perception wasn't that. I'm just thinking of like the stuff I can give you. Your Arcana was good, but your perception wasn't great, so I can give you part of this stuff. Yeah, you do notice that Blanchett does go over and like has the people stop beating the now dead body of Craven to a bloody pulp as he leans over and starts checking her for something. You don't see exactly what he's looking for, if he even finds what he's supposedly looking for, or if he's just looting her, you're not sure. But he's doing that. Instead, you go over to the body of this golem, and you have heard of such things before. Yes, you definitely have. It is a golem, right? And with a 23 in Arcana, you know a few things about this. you know that any golem is a trapped soul, or I'm sorry, not a soul, but a trapped entity from the elemental plane of Earth on this plane in something. This one, the medium it is used here is flesh, is human flesh that has been torturously sewn together and torn apart of many different creatures and many different human beings here, right? It is horrific to think that someone would use flesh. Usually, you've heard of people maybe using clay to like protect an ancient holy relic, something of those sorts, right? But the fact that you use flesh is like an abomination. But you do know that whatever happened here, uh, Craven or someone close to her was able to trap the soul of an entity from the Earth elemental plane into this creature.
I'll lay a hand on it and I'll say, go to your rest.
And at that point, with everyone just taking stock of everything that's happened, the 20 men that Blanchett had now down just to an even dozen after that.
Does that include us?
That does not include you. That also does not include your found friends, right? Maya, Murray, Acid Face, and Basil, who has done nothing except be named Basil.
It's a long game with Basil, though. He's going to do something.
Yeah, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 19 total, including you. Actually, 2021, because that also doesn't include Blanchett or Musha. So you're still a good group, but that's quite a few down from where you were this morning. And at that point, my friends, players, viewers, lovers, and fighters, we're going to pick it up again next Monday. Yeah, right. So we went a full 3 hours because we started on time.
Like an actual D&D length. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. I don't hate and usually we do. I mean, before we started streaming, we would go 6 hours, and I loved that too. I don't hate the slightly shorter format for this, but I don't hate these other sessions that might go a little bit longer either. Thank you everyone watching. Thank you people in chat. We really appreciate it. We got one sub this stream. All the love to the subscribers, of course.
Absolutely.
But
be sure to tune in on Thursday night this week for Group 2.
Yeah, we would love for you to give us a follow at least.
Awesome.
So awesome if you can give us a follow, and that way you can get the notifications when we go live. We go live this Thursday, because Out of the Light, you might not know, is actually one campaign but 2 separate groups. So
we're the better group.
This group here, who might be better, though you'd have to watch both to really find out, plays on Monday nights, and there's another group that plays on Thursday nights. And I would love, this is what I need from chat on Thursday, y'all. And I know, and
an assignment?
Yeah, this is the assignment for chat for Thursday. Is, because we're a few sessions in now. This is session 5 for you guys, right?
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah. I never changed the title of it on Twitch. Sorry.
It's one at level 1, 2 at level 2, and then 2 so far at level 3. So yeah, it'll be 5.
Yeah, so this is session 5. I want chat on Thursday to start thinking of how they think. Make some estimations, make some hypotheses on how you think these 2 different stories in this one campaign might, meet up.
I also have a piece of fan mail I'd like to read if I could.
We got some fan. Yeah, please. Yeah, it
says this is from T1989F.
Okay.
And it says,
"Good fella.
What do I do if I'm in chat and I want to comment on something, but I have nothing witty to say?" Well, young man, you would type in : sneaky, capital S, T, capital T, : and that would create you a great response. That would be a great meme for anyone in the channel, and that's what you would use. You'd use a chat emoticon, a chat emoji to communicate your feelings about a certain situation. Perhaps someone trying to get away with something, or perhaps somebody trying to do something on the sly. That would be great. That would be a great thing you could do, and that will be available on Thursday.
It'll be available on Thursday. That's amazing. And now that's sneaky with a capital S and then just the letter T?
The letter T, yes.
All
the
right,
letter T.
so sneaky with a capital S and then a capital letter T.
Yes.
Someone just showed us exactly what that will look like in chat. And that will be ready on Thursday. So if you give us a follow and get those notifications,
you'll be able to use that special, very special image on any channel.
It is. Look at it.
Twitch. You will have access to that exclusive image.
Wait a minute. Because I'm not really a Twitch guy, so I honestly didn't know that. You can use that on any
the next time those
channel?
dirty motherfuckers on Critical Role are streaming, you can go up in there, and when somebody rolls a net, somebody tries to sneak away with something, you put that T face right on the channel. You show them what it is.
Oh, I swear I thought that was that those things were channel specific. I did not realize.
Nope, you can use them wherever you want.
As long as you click that subscribe button, you will have access to that emoticon in perpetuity. As long as you're a subscriber to Inverse Productions on Twitch.
I'm not even joking it. I was joking at first. Now I'm totally serious.
I also recommend using it watching Super Smash Bros. Melee streams when someone SDs.
Anything really. You could do anything. Yep. You could go into the Mango stream, and when Randall shows up and prevents a KO, you could post that sneaky T, and he would be like, "Well, what is that? That is the greatest face I've ever seen."
And then next thing we know, Mango Nation, Fox McCloud.
Not only that,
in the stream.
If you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free.
For free?
And then stick T's sneaky ass face on every Twitch stream.
That's right.
From here to the Mason-Dixon line.
Matthew, are you telling me that for no price at all, nothing at all, you can have Tony's face and just plaster it all over Twitch until your heart's content?
Holy shit! And even if you don't have Amazon Prime, that's fine because a sub isn't that much for Tony's goddamn sneaky ass face. That's great.
For a man,
I know.
Has the head exact dimensions
of an emoticon.
Of an emoticon, it's the perfect head.
In fact, I'm fairly certain if this face was in your phone under all the emotes, it would probably be there for months before you even noticed.
Or if you had some kind of giant image file of thousands of pictures of your friends for no reason at all.
Whatever kind of weird psychopath would have that.
This is usually where I force you guys to end the stream, but I can't want to end.
I'm just saying, if there's more subscriptions coming in, there's going to be more faces of Tony.
Who knows what's next? Zick emotes? GG, I guess Joe? Anus? I don't know.
GG, I guess Joe. GG, I guess Joe. Oh my goodness gracious! I'm not sure Twitch can handle that.
All y'all, I'm so excited for Thursday. Tune in, 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is like a different time in other time zones, but I don't know what those are because I live on the East Coast of the U.S.
And you can hang out with us in chat because we'll be there as well.
Yeah, this Monday group is always in chat on Thursday, guys, so you can chat
haranguing
with them.
Yes.
And you can tell them whether they are actually better than the Thursday group.
I have one more piece of fan mail before we sign off. This one is from Joram, and it says, this one's to Matthew. I thought Bink should have been perma-dead after he rolled 2 terrible natural ones in the afterlife.
So who is that from? Who is that from?
That one is from That's from Joram with an H.
Okay.
I have one from Hollow Undead that says I agree.
That's probably there's probably some truth value to that statement. Thank you all for watching. I love you. Be good to one another. And I'll see you later this week. See you on Thursday.
Tony should be dead, Gate.
Guys.